Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Naruto is banished and becomes a mercenary part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. Sasuke was cornered. He had planned it through. He had gone alone so that he could sneak in safely, but they had been waiting for him. Clutching his sacred sword Kusanagi in his right hand, he faced 3 of the most dangerous shinobis in the world. Okay. Maybe not the girl. Haruno Sakura was not a threat even in his weakened state. If not for Uzumaki Naruto and Hatake Kakashi protecting her every cognizant second, he could have already killed her 10 times. He was worrying about Naruto and Kakashi. They were top class. After 3 years of hiding, he hadn't expected to meet up with these 2-3 levels stronger than before. Naruto could now control the massive Kyuubi chakra in him. That truth had smacked him with dread the very moment he realized it. And Kakashi? His level of expertise in using his fate-given Sharingan had become as if he was an Uchiha by blood. He had wounded Naruto fatally in the chest. He was sure it could have killed him, but the wound had regenerated in seconds without the aid of any medical technique. The Kyuubi was the reason for it, he was sure. If he couldn't manage to cut Naruto's head off, he would not be able to defeat him. The wind ruffled his raven hair as the falls behind him stirred it into motion. He had nowhere to escape to. The loud roar of the waters falling from the Konoha River into a depth no one would dare to measure hammered the realization of finality in his mind. It was now or never. Fight or get killed. With the attack he had been receiving, he had a vague idea that they were not planning to kill him. But it was not enough reason to put down his sword and accept their unsung plead for him to give up. His hatred was stronger. But the uncertainty his heart was pumping into his blood was becoming palpable by the minute. He was in a dire situation. That he would not deny. Naruto had fixed him with his determined, piercing blue eyes. A feather of exhaustion was apparent in his breath. It's dead end, Sasuke. Please lower your weapon. We are only here to bring you back, he said. Sasuke smirked. Pathetic words. You've chased me all over the place just to say that? No wonder you lot couldn't catch me. 3 of you to boot. Sasuke, we are not your enemy. We are your friends. True friends. Come back to us. Please. With an expression of gloating and anger mixed like coffee and cream on his face, he yelled, Kill me, then. Kill me and you can bring me back. It's no use talking to that criminal, Naruto, Sakura said. Naruto frowned at her in disbelief. What? Accept it. It's useless. I have long given up on him. He's already just a trash. Don't talk of him like that. You of all people. You who is the reason I'm doing this. Quit the melodrama, assholes, Sasuke said. Bits of pebbles gave in under his feet and fell into the deep abyss beneath the precipice. Get serious. Come on. He put back his sword into its scabbard and assumed a samurai stance of pull and kill, a completely defensive stance, but terribly lethal in its simplicity. Sakura just stared at Naruto, wishing to herself that he would see why she had said those words. She was indirectly telling him that he was more important, now, more precious than the vagrant and hating Uchiha. She had come to realize that Naruto had only been uselessly pursuing a man already devoid of humanity, a goal that could kill him sooner or later. Sasuke could kill now as easily as swatting a fly. Kakashi just stood, alert, shifting his gaze between Sasuke and his 2 subordinates. Then let me show you, Sakura finally said. She glared at Sasuke with every frustration and anger the years of thinking about him had accumulated in her heart. Let me show you how low he has gotten. In an instant she disappeared from sight and reappeared only a few meters away from Sasuke. Naruto and Kakashi were gripped by a throat-drying fear at the imminent contact of the 2, the girl who had loved the boy and the boy whom she had loved. Sasuke smiled evilly and gripped the hilt of Kusanagi more tightly. He concentrated all the strength left in him to his right arm. The power was building and he could feel it. The slash would cut Sakura in 2. Before he realized it, Naruto was already on the run. He was faster than Sakura. He could make it in time before the collision. He just knew. One of the 2 would die if he just stood and watched. Stop it, Sakura. You're no match against him. Sasuke shifted his center of gravity to his left foot and brought it up slowly. He could feel every muscle in his body passing over the force towards his right arm. Sakura was fast approaching, but to his eyes she was ridiculously slow. He could even see the particles of dust suspended in air like in a painting. The taste of blood started to conjure itself up in his tongue, an illusion he welcomed with excitement. Sakura. It was Naruto, running desperately to catch up to Sakura. But he was too late. Sakura cocked her right fist and pulled it towards Sasuke's face. Sasuke grinned and pulled his sword. The blade of the Kusanagi slid smoothly out of its encasing and slashed the air. A split second more, and it would hit its aim. Frame by frame of time. Frame by frame. Which would be the first one to hit, Sakura's mighty punch or Sasuke's deadly slash? When the two attacks, solid, cold, and ruthless, were only a hairline away from landing, the ground beneath Sasuke gave in. The Kusanagi missed its chance. However, the punch did not. It pierced the distance and hit Sasuke in the face. A flash of orange coming past beside her startled Sakura. The orange dived into the depth as she watched over her stretched arm. Her eyes followed the plummeting color down its path to the impending obscurity. Of course, it was Naruto. Naruto! She bellowed. Kakashi was immediately beside her. A flurry of hand seals and he got a long chain. He threw it down. Catch it, Naruto! Kakashi ordered. Please, please, reach him, Sakura prayed, unconsciously. Naruto plunged like an arrow slicing the air. He could feel the vapor and drops of water from the falls, which looked like a giant feather duster against his stomach. He felt like he had just dived into a river rather than towards a dark abyss quite visible now below. Drops of water clung on his face, and his clothes was getting more drenched as the seconds ticked automatically in his head as if there was an actual clock in there. He stretched out his arm to grab Sasuke with utmost difficulty. He noticed the chain Kakashi had thrown dangling an inch from his body. He summoned shadow clones. The first grabbed the chain. Another grabbed the first one's free hand. A third grabbed the second's free hand. It went on until Naruto managed to grab Sasuke's bloody robe. He threw his free hand up and the 12th clone caught it. The impact of the raging falls was enough to sway the chain and the persons holding onto it for dear life. Don't let go, Naruto! Sakura screamed in a big voice, unwomanly but she didn't care. Naruto was down 100 to 150 meters from the precipice. The powerful sound of the falls ate up her voice and she thought for an instant that it hadn't reached Naruto. But he shouted back. Pull us up! Hang on, Kakashi said. He began to pull at the chain. I'll never let go of you, Naruto said to Sasuke. Sasuke smiled. Oh, you will. He touched Naruto's stomach with the tip of Kusanagi. You won't do that, Sasuke, Naruto told him with a tone full of disbelief and fake confidence. He was uncertain, Sasuke could not miss that. You yourself are not sure. Sasuke erased the smile on his face and pushed the blade through Naruto. The Kusanagi cleanly went through Naruto's back. Sasuke, in sheer brutality, twisted the sword to tell Naruto that he was already ending everything between them, the friendship, the bond, the brotherly love. It was all useless now as they were about to die and be born again, not knowing who they had been in the past. Naruto stared at him with utter bewilderment, but there was still a glint of hope in his eyes that irritated him. Naruto opened his mouth to speak. Blood splashed on Sasuke's face. His cold charcoal black eyes became a notch frightening against the crimson liquid that completely covered his face. I'm sorry I can't save you, Naruto muttered. Then he did something Sasuke was not expecting. He smiled. You can still save yourself. With that he closed his eyes. The clones turned into smoke. Gravity pulled at them again. They began to fall. Naruto! Sakura shrieked. Shit! Kakashi hissed. It came back. That warm feeling he had felt when his brother smiled at him with hope instead of disgust the night of the Uchiha massacre. It all came back like a hammer blow. Naruto brought it back and he felt his heart opening up to do something he hadn't done for 8 years. He cried. Now he was regretting it. What he had done. Sasuke refused to hold onto the chain that would save him from the bottomless darkness below. It was finished anyway. What was waiting for him up there on that solid ground was a life of eternal confinement, condemnation, and mockery. Or death. He believed they would shame him in public before they thrust the cold blade of spear into his throat. He had killed Naruto, a hero, and that was all that would matter. His previous crimes would shrink into the size of an ant or more, into oblivion. They would not care if he had ransacked an entire village and killed children and old folks. They would not see that. He had killed Naruto, and they would kill him because of that. Only that. So, he closed his eyes. Finally, he could rest. It was finished. He dropped his sword and it plummeted ahead of him. It was a very long fall. Sakura stood up. No, 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 she said as if it was a chant. Naruto! She called out amidst the roaring falls. Naruto! Go and request for a search and rescue team, Kakashi said with anxious eyes. I'll go down and look for him. Sakura wasn't listening, so he had to shake her shoulders. Listen to me. We don't know if Naruto is already dead. Sakura tentatively nodded. Don't worry. I'm sure he'll not die that easily. Go! When Sakura began rushing for Konoha, Kakashi summoned 7 ninja dogs led by a pug named Paku. Listen up. Naruto fell down. We will spread once we get at the bottom, he said. There was an honest expression of shock on Paku's virtually impassive countenance. Naruto fell? There is no time to explain to you guys. Time is precious. Crucially precious this time. Let's move out. Sakura was not thinking of anything but reaching Tsunade's office. The trees went past her peripheral and major field of vision like crude lines of crayon on parchment, but it didn't matter to her. She even wished the trees would burn and turn into ash, and she would shovel the ash up and toss it down to the falls. The falls. Naruto had fallen towards the bottom, the mouth of Hades as it was locally known. The fear that she had dismissed temporarily, pushing it with her will into the farthest corner of her mind, began to creep up again. She shook her head. What was she thinking at a time like this? She should be focusing on the solution at hand. That was to reach the office of the Hokage and report what had happened right off the bat. She should hurry. When a tree blocked her way, she punched it into shards of debris. She didn't care right now if an environmentalist group protested against the act. The tree would grow anyhow as long as the root was still in the soil. But Naruto wouldn't live if his body was found dead. Time was the enemy. Now that she thought about it, the falls, it was called Sky's Descent, was more than 4 kilometers high. She didn't know if somewhere in the world a falls that high or higher than that existed. But what concerned her was not the height's rarity, but the height itself. Could a human survive after falling that high even though the bottom was made of water? In addition, the falls was gigantic. Imagine the weight of the force it had. Someone too unfortunate to fall would surely die. Even Naruto. The realization stung her eyes. Was there still a chance that Naruto had survived the fall? Once Master Tsunade had taken her on a trip to get a wild medicinal herb growing from a rich patch of earth midway of the falls. Looking around at that place, she had seen how the rocks jutted like sharks' teeth along the steep face of the cliff. Naruto getting caught on one came into her mind. The image of red flesh splattering around, minced into tiny bits, the image of blood suspended in air, those almost made her faint. Her breathing was caught by a knot in his throat. For 2 seconds she couldn't breathe. Oh my God! Please spare him. I'm prepared if he becomes a vegetable, just don't let him die. Please, God. Her praying to Kami, God, was rare for her to do. She only did it when fear of immeasurable degree appeared before her, laughing at her. Today was the day she had her most frightened state. The gate of Konoha appeared in the distance. At last she could feel a thread of relief. The thorn of fear was pulled out a millimeter from her back. She landed on the ground, looked around, dismissed the thought of telling the Jonin guard to make the request while she went back to help Kakashi, and went on herself. She jumped onto the rooftop of the first house she saw, splintering the shingle directly beneath her foot, and prying off the shingles around it with the impact of her landing. She ran towards the administration building like her life depended on it. She reached the building in less than a minute. Master Tsunade! Master Tsunade! She said as she entered the 5th Hokage's office. The pretty lady with long blonde hair sitting behind the desk started at her voice. The pretty lady was the 5th Hokage. Actually, she was old, in her 60s already, but she used a regeneration technique that made her look like as she had been when she was in her 20s. Also, that technique reverted not only her skin's youth but her bodily functions as well. Her heart, kidneys, liver, pancreas, everything in her body regressed in age and worked like new. In that state, she was actually a young woman. Only that the technique spent a large amount of her chakras so she couldn't fight in her fullest when she was at it. Sakura? What happened? Tsunade said. Naruto fell into the mouth of Hades. Please, a rescue team, please. She was terribly exhausted and her breathing was getting thin. Please. Tsunade was frowning. She stood up and went to fetch a glass of water for Sakura from the back of the office. She helped Sakura drink from the glass. Take a deep breath, okay, that's it, okay. Now, tell me again. Slowly. Master Tsunade, we had been chasing Sasuke. We cornered him at the Sky's Descent. I attacked him, but the ground beneath him collapsed and he fell. Naruto dived after him and caught him, but Sasuke suddenly stabbed Naruto, and they fell together. Master Kakashi stayed to look for their bodies. He believed that Naruto still lives. She whimpered. Could that be true? Could Naruto survive that fall? Tsunade began to move like she had been hypnotized, whispered to, and with a flick of the fingers obeyed. She left Sakura standing there and went to her assistant's office. Shizen! Shizen! Her voice thundered in the hallway. 2 jonins flinched and shrank away when she marched past them. Shizen! Where the hell are you? A cute girl with short, black hair got out from the filing room, carrying papers in her arms. She was Shizen. What's the matter? I was rewriting these files in here. Go and call for the Hyuga and the Inuzuka search and rescue teams. Naruto is in grave danger. Now go! At the mention of Naruto's name, Shizen dropped the papers and they scattered all over the floor. She ran into the message room. Kakashi and his dogs fought their way down the steep cliff of the falls. They were rushing so it was difficult to avoid getting wounds here and there, especially that the cliff was strewn with families of sharp rocks. Kakashi accidentally stepped on a loose ledge. The ledge collapsed and Kakashi slid. A rock no more than the size of an open hand cut his back. Kakashi! Paku called out. I'm okay. I'm okay. Carry on. Paku didn't listen and approached him. What's okay? You have a huge wound. Let me wrap it up at least. Once finished, they continued on their descent. 48 minutes had passed before they reached the bottom. One word: scary. Even for a jonin like him, the place was like hell itself. Because of the eternal crashing of water from the river at a height of more than 4,000 meters, the surrounding was always too misty to see a thing 5 meters from you. Without the mist, it was a thick forest, undisturbed and thriving. Trees with thick trunks with branches growing in every direction possible comprised the majority of the area. Sunlight was scant if not none at all, so the trees fight over dominance to survive, making them 10 times larger than ordinary. Coupled with impossibly fertile soil, even calamities couldn't stop their growth. The feet of the falls could easily have the width of a large knoll or a temple. It was huge. So huge for Kakashi that his belief that Naruto could have survived the fall waned a little. Also, there was the matter of the protruding boulders as large as houses around the fall's feet. Because of the impact, they had been forced out the ground, and the thousands of years of their existence had made their tips as sharp as blades as stray drops of water continued to hit and hone them every day. Beyond the group of boulders was a wide stream as black as pitch. That word again, scary. Back at the feet of the falls. The basin that was directly beneath the feet was called the mouth of Hades. From the name alone, it was already obvious that the basin was of mysterious existence. The basin was deep enough to hide the whole falls under it. Monks believed that it was the actual gateway to hell. Priests believed that creatures with indescribable appearances lived in there. He hoped that Naruto had not fallen into that basin. From that height, it was possible that the direction of his fall had changed. It was better if he had fallen to the ground than to the water. The Kyuubi's chakra would regenerate him anyway. He pulled his forehead protector to uncover his Sharingan and began his search. 8 minutes had already passed. Tsunade was standing at the center of her office, her foot tapping the floor with impatience. Every 10 seconds, a crispy curse would go out her mouth. She would shout a glare at the door and curse again. 10 seconds. A new curse under her breath. A glare at the door. She was just suppressing herself from erupting in front of Sakura, who was now hugging her knees at a corner. She knew that Sakura was already exhausted. The sky's descent was a good 83 kilometers from Konoha, and she had made the trip back for only 32 minutes. A feat, a new record if she was in good humor, for she would have already told the record council to write it down had it been not for the serious case they had. Was Naruto alright? Kakashi was good at tracking. He might have gotten to Naruto by now. Tsunade gnawed at the nail of her right thumb and began pacing the room. Sakura looked up wearily at her. Don't look at me like that, pretty face. She glanced at Sakura if she had obeyed. Sakura had kept her stare. Tsunade hunkered in front of her. Come on. Don't do that. Everything will be alright, okay? We will find them and they will both be alive with only a few scratches here and there. Sakura finally looked away. I don't care about Sasuke. Let him die. He stabbed Naruto, who was just trying to save him. Would Naruto like to hear that from you? He was trying to save Sasuke for you. He was only doing that because he believed that I still loved the bastard. So? Wasn't that the case? No. The one I truly love is him. Naruto. Tsunade cocked her eyebrow, intrigued. I didn't know that. Sakura blushed despite of herself, and unbelievably because of the situation. She nodded. It's true. I was a fool in the past not to notice it. But now there's no one in my heart but Naruto. When we found him, would you confess to him? For me? I want to see Naruto happy. Tsunade offered a sweet, hopeful smile. Outside, the two teams began their ascent up the stairs going to the top floor. Their authority was tangible in the air. Some of the villagers who happened to be in the building bowed their heads when they passed by. The Hyuga Special Search Squad, HS-3, was comprised of Niji, Hinata, and Aika. Hyuga Niji had long, dark hair acting as background for his beautiful face. If not for his stern expression, many would think of him as a woman, especially that Hyuga males wore long tunics. He was considered a genius and the youngest to be awarded the title of Jukensei, in other words, Ultimate Master. His being a son of the Hyuga branch had been discarded, the seal on his forehead erased. Now he could obliged to attend, meetings among the Hyuga main. On his right was Hyuga Hinata, who was once a shy one, but today her pretty face had a strong quality in it. All of Konoha knew that she was in love with their hero, Naruto. Because of it, many aspiring boyfriends had their hearts broken early on. They thought, especially the immigrants, that Hinata had high standards. Too high even for Naruto was internationally known as one of the best shinobis in history. A Kage material, as old folks would say. Her father had accepted her back as his daughter and the legitimate heir of the Juken discipline and the Hyuga leadership. Even though Niji was still ways ahead in skill, Hinata had proven enough that the Hyuga clan could count on her. A ceremony had been held the day she was reinstated where all the elders and seniors of the Hyuga clan touched their foreheads against the ground, prostrating themselves for the wrong judgment they had done on her. Hinata was now one of the 5 Grand Masters of Hyuga in Juken, only a level below Niji. Another of the 5 Grand Masters was Hyuga Aika, a bubbly 13-year-old girl with short white hair. She was a prodigy. Despite of her petite body, she could fight against bigger opponents. She was a member of a special family in the Hyuga main, the Hyuga hybrids. Her family had the royal blood of the ancient Hyugas. The children born in this family had special eyes that had gold rim around the irises. They were capable of activating the 8 gates without the danger of dying, unlike ordinary shinobis. Also, they had God Reflex, an ability that made it easy for them to transfer commands to and from the brain. This special ability made their reaction speed an estimated 304 times faster than that of a skilled taijutsu user. At her young age, she was already a jonin. She entirely skipped elementary school and was trained by Jukensei Hyuga Katashi himself, the legendary firm fist. Other than Niji, Hinata and the Jukenseis, the only other person she had lost to was Naruto. She had become curious about him and asked Hinata. With Hinata's all-compliment description of him, she fell in love with Naruto. Aika had written Naruto's name on the Hyuga's official journal as her future husband. If Naruto did no sign his refusal and Aika took another man as husband, Aika would be sentenced to death as punishment. The other team, the Inuzuka Tracking Specialist Team, ITST, was comprised of Kiba, Momoko, and Katsuo. Kiba was the dominating existence even though the two were not that behind. The reason was because he always had his big white dog with him. Akamaru, his dog, had grown muscular, more handsome in human description, more predatory in jungle words. A giant breed, Akamaru occupied a third of the hallway. His master Kiba would have been ordinary looking if not for the 2 red fawn-shaped tattoos on his face, one on each cheek, the symbol for warrior in the Inuzuka clan. He was the top tracking shinobi of Konoha. His sense of smell was on par with Akamaru's and he reacted with his instincts more, an ability that had made him famous as the timing magician because of his uncanny premonitions in battles, usually escaping death in incredibly dire situations, than with his common sense. In battles done in forests, he always had the upper hand. Inuzuka Momoko was the granddaughter of the Inuzuka chieftain. Blessed with extraordinary beauty and a body that didn't get fat however much she ate, she was considered one of the most beautiful gems in Konoha. Her eyes were a pair of walnuts, sometimes almost as red as the sunset. She had long brown hair that was quite unruly because of her wild habits and smooth skin the color of rich chocolate. Painters had praised her symmetrical features, from the soft curves of her jaws, her high cheekbones, and her thin nose. The only problem about her was her tomboyish nature. She was already 18, but she was more rugged than most men, not a sign of femininity. For most, she was an eye candy. However, once she began to speak, her rough edges showed themselves. But don't be fooled by her looks. She was pretty skilled in taijutsu and was born with special set of muscles most martial artists would love to have. Our body is composed of 2 types of muscles, the strong red muscles and the high endurance white muscles. However, she had muscles with a mixture of both, pink muscles. Thus, her physical potential shot up. Even Mighty Guy had once said that Momoko could be a master among the masters. In the past, she had been confident about her skills, so she hated to train and she distrusted senseis. She had been as lazy as Shikamaru. One day Naruto challenged her in a taijutsu duel. Of course, Naruto lost. After a week, Naruto challenged her again and again he lost. 2 months passed before Naruto challenged her again. She accepted the challenge. At first she was winning. However, Naruto managed to sneak a punch in and she lost consciousness. That day she lost. After a week she decided to challenge him for a rematch. He gladly accepted. The fight was fierce. However, Naruto managed to sneak 2 punches in this time, and she lost once more. The third time she challenged him, Naruto managed to sneak 5 punches in. She didn't give up on challenging him as if it had become her personal mission, but each time she lost. After 358 fights, she hadn't won against Naruto yet. Why can't I win against you? She had asked him. It was after their latest fight. She was holding her bruised right shoulder. Naruto grinned at her. It's because you're lazy and overconfident. You know, you have a gift. You could be a great taijutsu master one day. I fought you because your cousin, Kiba, asked me to wake you up from that bad behavior. The first time I lost to you, I took special classes from Gai-sensei. I worked hard so that I would be able to be skillful in taijutsu. I'm not like you who can easily simulate and understand the purpose of a move, but I don't stop until I perfect a move as my sensei wanted it to be. You can't beat me until now because I keep on challenging Gai-sensei to push me harder so that I can become like Rock Lee, his chosen disciple. Momoko-chan, I envy you for having a body designed for taijutsu, but if you will not put hard work in the equation and trust experienced fighters to teach you, that gift will be wasted on you. Naruto's words struck her like thunderbolt. Many of her relatives had said those words before, but she ignored them. But this time, even though she wanted to ignore him, rebel against him, threw him a tantrum designed to piss him off, she couldn't. The tone that Naruto had used to speak those words that she had heard 1,000 times before had made her feel special, respected, and loved at the same time. What should I do then? She said. I heard that the Inuzuka clan is full of strong masters. Find one and work hard. Before Naruto could go on, Momoko tiptoed and bit him on the neck, leaving 4 fang marks on it. Naruto clasped a hand over the small wounds and stared at Momoko, confused. Momoko just smiled and left. He did not know that the gesture was the first of the 4 traditional rituals of engagement in the Inuzuka clan. Momoko had just made him her target. I guess she was just too mad at me, was what Naruto thought. Momoko found a master of her liking and worked hard under her guidance. In just 1 year, she mastered skills that normally taught after 15 years of apprenticeship. Her master said to her, I'm happy that you've come back. Now that you impart diligence and conviction in your training, you might surpass me in 2 years. The last of the Inuzuka team was Katsuo. He was a big guy with a pelt of polar bear on his back. He had small eyes and what covered his scalp wasn't hair but symbolic tattoos, characters only the Inuzuka elders would understand. He didn't speak much, but he was popular for being kind to animals and small children. His most potent weapon was the lion's roar, a taijutsu technique requiring strength and control of the respiratory system, especially the vocal cords. His voice, once amplified, could demolish a concrete building. Another skill he had was his ability to speak with wolves. Not like Kiba, who could communicate only to Akamaru, Katsuo could communicate with every kind of wolves that were already capable of deciding for themselves. Nobody but him could do this. This skill made him indispensable in the ITST. They reached Tsunade's office. Tsunade sighed and said, finally. Tsunade stood up and faced the 2 teams. Sakura weakly looked at them from her seat. Niji showed Tsunade the red container, small like a baby's finger, where the message had been put into. The fastest courier hawk had brought it to him. This means that it's urgent. Who are we searching for? He said. Something went wrong with Team Kakashi's mission. Naruto fell down into the mouth of Hades. What? Not all of them blurted this out. But Tsunade was sure everyone was shocked. What happened? Momoko said, and stepped forward. She stood next to Niji. Kakashi was with them, right? Naruto tried to save Sasuke, was all Tsunade could tell. Knowing that she could no longer get an answer from Tsunade, Momoko approached Sakura. Sakura-chan, how the hell did that happen? Momoko, Tsunade said, let's save the questions for later. You need to get there fast. Kakashi stayed to search for Naruto, but the bottom of that falls is pretty wide. It's better if you leave now. Sakura pushed herself up against the wall. She was noticeably shaking. I'm going too. Momoko saw this and compassion filled her heart. Can you even stand up? She said. I will go no matter what you say. Nobody can stop me. Kiba, Niji, make sure you find him, Tsunade said. Hinata, pull out 5 teams of ANBUs to help out. Sakura, you will stay here. Sakura almost shouted when she heard this. No! I'll go! This is a crucial situation, Sakura. You know yourself that you'll just be a burden to them. They need to move fast, even faster than necessary. Please. Tsunade turned around and scolded Sakura with the fiercest expression she could come up with. That's an order. She stared at Sakura and Sakura stared back. They kept it for a full 5 seconds. You will stay here. She jerked her head back at the 2 teams. Now go. Kiba and Niji nodded in assent. Momoko hesitated for a split second before following. She wanted to protest to Tsunade, but Tsunade was right. Sakura began to cry. As Momoko was about to step out of the room, Hinata came running in. She embraced Sakura with all her might. Everything will be all right, okay, Hinata said. We'll find Naruto. She kissed Sakura's cheek. You need to listen to Master Tsunade and rest. Naruto-kun would want to see you well when he got back. Hinata's words not only brought smile to Sakura's lips, but to Momoko's and Tsunade's as well. Playing martyr, Hinata-chan? Momoko teased as Hinata passed by. You wanted to do that too, am I right? Hinata smiled. Now let's bring back Naruto-kun. Even though all of them knew about the sky's crescent history, and they had seen its general geography above and below from books, once they arrived at the bottom, the ambience of the place took their breath away. Even the Inuzuka trio, who had been in many forests before, felt a chill up their spines as they stood in that abnormally thick mist. Aika blew air from her cute mouth. Now her lips were pale, as if to whistle but not a note turned up. While you talk about scary, she said. It will be hard to see here even with our Byakugan. We'll pair up, Niji said. Hinata Momoko, Aika Kiba. I'll go with Katsuo. That way each team will have a pair of eyes and a nose. The captain of the ANBU team, which was composed of 25 people, approached Niji. His mask had become moist because of the floating mist. We'll be searching on our own. Sorry for our selfishness. I understand, Niji said. Good luck. Yeah. Good luck. Like a flock of flies shoot away, all that could be seen were the lines of their departure when they moved out. The search team has arrived. They are already on the move. It's a big team. 31 people, Paku reported to Kakashi. They were around 800 meters from the mouth of Hades. They had been searching along the stream. The thickness of the mist hadn't changed a bit. That's good, Kakashi said. Aren't you going to talk to one of them? It'll be a waste of time. We need to hurry with our search. Naruto should have already hit the water 2 hours ago. And, Kakashi suddenly put a hand over his Sharingan. My Sharingan is draining my chakra quicker than normal. It must be due to this abnormal atmosphere, Paku said, emphasizing his statement by looking around. In addition, you fought with Sasuke. You wasted your energy by trying hard not to inflict him with fatal damage. I think you should rest a bit. There's no time. Kakashi stood up and resumed his search. Orochimaru stood up from his perch, smiling. He hadn't changed much. He was still the sickly-looking villain the whole world knew of, pale and pasty skin, emaciated cheeks, and long, dull hair. Wasn't it that Itachi had already killed him? No. He had survived through Kabuto. He was Yuki no Orochi, the white snake. He could enter a body, be it dead or still alive. He could enter the mind. It was easy for him to transform into a single tiny cell, propagate, and be born again. That was what he had done. Kabuto had grafted Orochimaru's cell in his forearm, found a suitable body, and transferred the cell into that body. Now he lived but with a single flaw. Because he had almost died once, taking on another body would be very dangerous. He could no longer do it without risking his life. He had met with Madara and expressed his desire to be an Akatsuki again. Madara accepted him back. So, you are just interested now in destroying Konoha, Madara had said? How about your desire to learn every ninjutsu in this world? What I know is enough, Orochimaru said. I've already accepted that I will die in the end. No one can be immortal. History never permits that. I managed to outlive myself. I'm as old as Konoha, don't forget. Orochimaru smiled at this. History is not tired of you yet. But once she is, one way or another you will die. Interesting. That's an amusing philosophy. I'm sure. I've died once already. He was laughing as he left. This was 3 years ago. Madara suddenly appeared beside him on the branch of the tree. He was still wearing his orange mask, which only had a hole for his right eye, and had curving lines that made a whirlpool on it in which the eye hole was the center. He was carrying Sasuke on his shoulder. Orochimaru looked at Sasuke, longingly. Once my prey, he said. He is virtually dead. Only his chakra remains. We have 2 more hours tops. That's easy. Uchiha has strong blood. They don't die easily. How about the other one? I let the stream take him wherever it wants. He's dead. Are you sure? Yes. Even his chakra is gone. Orochimaru was amused. He cocked an eyebrow. You never know. That boy was rather amazing. But well, even if he's still breathing, he will soon die. Kakashi has been searching for him, has he not? He was too late. Naruto had gone very far already when he arrived at the bottom. We were late as well. only earlier than him. So, what do you plan on doing? Will you let the situation as it is? They might accidentally find our hideout if they kept on searching along the stream. Shizumaru made a fake using a dead body. The blood he collected from the Kusanagi was enough to replicate the boy. They will not know the difference. Accessories? Clothing? Isn't it better if you have just collected the boy, killed him a second time, and left him for them to find? Madara was quiet. Of course, Orochimaru had a point. That was the best solution. But would he tell him what had really happened? It was unbelievable. In the end, he decided to tell Orochimaru. I couldn't touch him. He sank before I could grab him. Sank? In the stream? Yes. Orochimaru laughed. Even nature doesn't want him to be touched by evil hands. Anyway, nothing to worry about. We have a stock of clothing similar to what Naruto was wearing. Some of our underlings had already disguised as him in the past. The crystal was the only problem, but it is easy to conclude that the stream has taken it away. More importantly, we need to revive Sasuke before it's too late. Show me how incredible you really are. With that they were gone. Kakashi found the body in the middle of the stream a kilometer and a half from the mouth of Hades. A jutting rock in the stream had caught it, and the current swayed its arms and legs lifelessly like a ragdoll. He leaped towards the rock. Perching on it, he leaned down and picked up the body. He shot a cable to a tall tree and swung himself to the shore. He laid the body down on the pebbles. He didn't need to look at it closely to recognize the face. There was no doubt. It was Naruto. He searched for a pulse, immediately, using both hands. On the neck, on the wrist, on the center of the chest. None. Every second seemed to him like a cube of ice being put one by one around his body. Soon, he was trembling because of those imaginary ice cubes courtesy of his fear. He could see the tremors on his hands. Not in his life had he been like this. No, no, he muttered. He tore his mask, still not letting go of the hope that Naruto was still alive. Just a small sign. God, just a small sign is all I need. Frantically, he lowered his right cheek above Naruto's lips, eyes shut, praying for a small breath. None. He moved towards Naruto's chest, listened, and got disappointed. No, no. Naruto, please. He would never let go of him. He opened Naruto's mouth and blew some air into it. He pumped at Naruto's chest, went to his mouth again, pumped at his chest again. Still, there was no reaction. Naruto, come on. Breathe, goddammit. Breathe. He repeated this until eventually his strength left him. If he could see his face, he could see in there disbelief, fear, sadness, anger, frustration, and despair mixed in a mocking way, mocking him. Shit, no one could see him, but even if someone could, he would not care. He sat on the ground and put his face in his hands. It was the very first time that calm Kakashi, ever since he got out of his childhood, had cried. If Sasuke was there, he could have killed him without a fleck of remorse. He weakly fumbled for his radio and called Paku. It's me. I found him. Where are you? Paku sounded relieved. Sector 23, 1533 kilometers from the mouth. Is he okay? Kakashi wanted to keep the truth from Paku as much as from himself, but he knew that it was no use. We are too late. Paku was quiet for 10 seconds. Oh my. I'll gather everyone. Over and out. In just 2 minutes, 25 ANBUs arrived at the place. Some looked away when they saw the body. Anyone has a bag? Kakashi asked. He put on a new mask to cover his face. An ANBU approached and produced a rolled rubber bag. Here. Don't tell the kids yet. Paku, have you told the kids? I'm sorry. They're coming, Paku said. Prepare shots of tranquilizer. We'll need them. Carefully, he laid the bag down, and, as if handling the most fragile earthen vase, he carried Naruto's body over it. He zipped up the bag too carefully that it seemed he would finish the act for a full 1 minute. As he stood up, he noticed some movements from the bushes. Akamaru's whimper was audible. Akamaru whimpered when he recognized the smell. Momoko was frozen at the sight of the bag. She knew what it meant, but still she sought for some denial from the other people around. Akamaru sniffed at the bag and suddenly howled. No, no, Momoko began. Is that no? Don't say it. Kiba got off Akamaru, knelt beside the bag, and pulled down the zipper to reveal Naruto's face. Momoko fell to her knees and screamed. Katsuo immediately pulled her aside and chanted some soothing words into her ears. Kiba backed off and went to Akamaru. He buried his face in Akamaru's soft fur and sobbed. Aika! Niji yelled. Aika pushed Hinata a few steps away from the bag. It's okay. It's nothing. You don't have to look. Hinata was breathing hard. She was shooting glances at Aika and the bag. Her lips were open and began to get dry. Please, believe me. Aika's voice cracked, betraying her true emotions. There she embraced Hinata and cried. Hinata Wani-chan, Hinata Wani-chan. Niji was clenching his jaws. Close it. No one moved. Close it, damn it. Kakashi heeded his words. Upon completing the action, Hinata fainted. Give the girls some sedative. Now, Kakashi said. Two ANBUs gave Momoko and Aika a shot each in the arm. They counted 15 seconds and the girls fell asleep. Okay. I hope you three don't need any, he said to Niji. No. Kakashi sighed through his nose. Okay. Let's move. The Jonins and the ANBUs arrived 20 past 12 of the clock that evening. Niji, Kiba, and Katsuo had Hinata, Aika, and Momoko in their arms while Kakashi had Naruto. Upon arriving, Paku and his dog colleagues disappeared into smoke. An ANBU immediately went to fetch Tsunade, and when they came back, Tsunade went to see Naruto right away. Kakashi gently set the bag down and pulled down the zipper to show Tsunade Naruto's face. Tsunade barely held her emotions when she saw him, but she forced herself to suppress them so as not to let her subordinates see her cry. At her command, they take Naruto to the morgue and the three girls they brought to the hospital. Kakashi and the ANBUs stayed for a while for Tsunade's instructions, but all she said to them was, leave. She wanted to say that she would conduct an autopsy on Naruto, but all that came after that was, please. Alone in the morgue where dead bodies had their own place in the large freezer, Tsunade stood beside Naruto, staring with intensity at his face. After a moment she reached out and pulled Naruto's head into her bosom. The cold skin against hers became the spark that lit the fuse of her heart. She let go of the tears that had been in her eyes all along and cut the silence with soft I love you, I'll miss you, and you'll always be my son. She held him to her for a very long time, whispering sweet endearments she had not had the chance to tell him when he was still alive. She regretted holding back her love for him, and now that he was there but would never hear her despite being near, she could not help but feel stupid. She gently set his head down on the metal table and put a tender kiss on his forehead. Straightening up to look at him for the last time, she said, I'll never forget you, Naruto. Goodbye. Sakura opened her eyes when she heard the commotion below. She was on the second floor. It was a wonder for her that the gossip loud voices coming from below reached her ears. She felt apprehensive. Her spine was tingling. She willed herself to get out of bed, pulling the tubes that supplied her body with food and water from her hands. On her way to the door, she kept telling herself that what was waiting for her was good news, that the anxiety that had so suddenly struck her was just a cruel prank of her imagination, and that Naruto would be in a room somewhere and waiting for her to visit. However, once outside, what greeted her was Kiba's grave expression. Where is he? Sakura said. Is he all right? Kiba gulped. He's dead, Sakura. Sakura stared at Kiba with accusing eyes and, as if her mouth had its own life, said, I don't believe you. Don't kid around. I'm sorry. I said don't kid around. Sakura ran past Kiba with speed that surprised even her. She reached the admission counter on the first floor and asked, Uzumaki Naruto. His room, please. The attendant looked towards Niji and Katsuo who were sitting on a bench nearby. Sakura followed the attendant's gaze and saw the two. She went to them. Where's Naruto? Sakura Katsuo began, but Niji cut in. He's with Master Tsunade at the morgue. Sakura glared at Niji. Stop fooling with me. Nobody is fooling with you. Niji looked into Sakura's eyes. Look, I know you're upset, but so are we. No one wanted this to happen, Sakura. He's dead. The best thing we can do for him right now is to accept it. No, and her tears began to flow. No. She sprinted towards the morgue. Naruto. Where is he? Tsunade stood up from the bench she had been sitting in. Sakura? Sakura collapsed to her knees like a bombed building, too fast as if her lower half had suddenly been hacked off from her body. Naruto was there all right, there and dead. Her right hand found her mouth, and she suppressed a scream. What came out from that otherwise lovely mouth was a mixture of a moan and blubber, as if she was going to choke. Tsunade embraced her, saying, Shush, shush, Sakura. He just had to. He just had to go, honey. Let's let him go, okay? Let us. Gaara was the 15-year-old young man sitting at the desk that belonged to the most important person in Sunagakure. He was the Kazekage. He had red hair that he kept very short, just enough to cover his scalp. Black markings that rimmed his eyes made his stare compelling and dreadful at the same time. A red tattoo of the character for demon had been put on a patch of skin above his left eye. It reminded him of what he had used to be when he was a child, a killer, and made him more caring as Sunagekire's leader. The stone door opened and Temari entered. She was 17 years old and possessed a tomboyish kind of beauty. She always tied her golden hair into 2 pairs of ponytails behind her head and carried her large iron fan, her weapon, that she slung on her back everywhere. She was Gaara's older sister. Gaara looked up. Temari. What brings you here? I have bad news. He frowned. Tell me. I received report that Naruto is already dead. Gaara's eyelids parted, leaving his pupils suspended at the center of his eyes, looking like they had just shrunk in size. What did you say? His body was found last night near the mouth of Hades. He had been fighting with Sasuke when the accident happened. The Hokage decided to commence the burial in 3 days. Naruto is dead? Temari didn't answer. Tell the whole village about this. Put the flags in half-mast. I'll go to Konoha and nobody can stop me. Nobody will stop you, Gaara. Kankuro said the same thing. I'll go with you. This will be the last time we'll see of the man that saved you and Sunagekure for that matter. Yumino Iraka was the name of the man who was now running frantically on the street towards the hospital. He was the first teacher who had believed in Naruto. The large scar across his face was as pale as his lips. His usual calm countenance was distorted in panic. He reached the admission ward and looked around. He found Niji and talked to him. Is it true? Is Naruto dead? Even before the confirmation, his tears had already begun to flow. Where is he? We will have the wake shortly, Tsunade said, coming out from the corner going to the morgue. Her eyes were swollen from crying. He is getting groomed right now. We will see him, shortly. May I see him? May I see him, master? Please, before he is put inside the glass. Please let me see him. I can't do that. I'm sorry, Iraka. You have to wait. No. He turned around and settled himself on the bench. No. He put his face in his hands. I can't believe this. The first group of villagers composed of 20 persons came to the hospital at 7:12. On their faces was the hope that the news that they had heard was just a cruel prank from someone. The 10 ANBUs guarding the doors of the hospital didn't let them go in. ANBU-san, he is still alive, right? Naruto-kun? It was just a lie, right? Said one. We will not believe this ridiculous news unless we see Naruto, said another. Please tell us. Please, said a third. But the ANBUs kept quiet. 2 hours later, the group grew in number. From 20, it grew to more than 800 heads. Everyone was hopeful that Naruto was still alive. When Tsunade finally went outside at 10, there were already 2,000 villagers outside the hospital. She blinked at the large crowd and stopped. What's going on? She asked one ANBU. They want confirmation, ma'am. Look! It's Master Tsunade, said an old man. The people shifted their attention towards Tsunade. Master Tsunade, we want to know the real situation. How is Naruto? Tsunade felt a pang of panic. She hesitated to tell them. Hurting them was the least thing she wanted to do to the villagers. She searched for a way out. However, as she scanned the faces of the people, she caught sight of a child and her wavering suddenly collapsed. She raised her hands to shush them. I regret to tell this to you, but the news of Naruto's death is true. The villagers gasped in unison. He was on a mission when the accident happened. We found him last night near the mouth of Hades. He is now resting in peace. He didn't suffer. That was a lie, she thought she must add. Please pray for his soul. Tsunade went to her office. Upon entering it, she caught sight of a framed picture on top of her filing cabinet. It was a picture of her, Shizen, Naruto, and Jiraiya taken at the time Konoha was in need of a new Hokage after the third's death in the hands of Orochimaru. She picked it up. She remembered her first impression of Naruto. She had thought that he was an idiot and had no potential. However, he had intrigued her when he said that he would be a Hokage someday. You? Hokage? In your dreams, she had said. You can laugh, now, Naruto replied. But I promise you that I'll be the best Hokage of all time. The memory brought a smile to her lips. He doesn't have talent, Jiraiya had said. But he has the making of a great man. I bet my life on it. Naruto had proven himself when he saved her from Kabuto using the Rasengan that he had somehow learned despite of the technique's level of difficulty. That time she had honestly admired the boy. She had even given him the amulet her grandfather, the first Hokage, had bestowed in her possession. She blinked at the thought. Naruto had not been wearing her amulet when the ANBU brought him last night. She shook her head. The river must have taken it away from him. Now that she thought of it, every person she had given that amulet to had died. It might be better that it was gone. That way the curse was stopped. Would the river begin to die too? She smiled as she replaced the frame. There was a knock at the door. When she allowed entrance, Shizen came in. She was carrying a bunch of letters. These arrived a few hours ago, Shizen said. Tell me about the important ones. The Kazekage, Mizukage, Reikage, and Tsuchikage had expressed their desire to come for the burial. Our enemies had issued a temporary truce and promised to respect the ceremony we will conduct for, in their own words, a very important existence in the world. Even the enemies, huh? Their spies surely work hard. The other letters came from Naruto's friends in other countries. Put them on my desk. Shizen did as told. You should take a short nap, Master Tsunade. You haven't had any sleep. Tsunade smiled a little. It's too late now. Your first love just died. What will you do, Shizen? How long have you known that? Ever since the day I saw you smiling to yourself. Indulge me, Shizen. How did it happen? I promised to keep this to myself forever because it's embarrassing. But now I think it's all right. Let's get some tea. Shizen arrived a few minutes after Tsunade had called for her. Naruto was already there, sitting on the edge of Tsunade's desk. Impatience was already beginning to creep on his handsome face. She smiled to herself. She had just thought that Naruto was handsome. She shrugged. It was true anyway. What was wrong with that? Master Tsunade, she said. Without looking up, Tsunade said, I have a mission for the both of you. You two will establish cover in the Valley of Thorns as a couple. Shizen noticed that Naruto was suspicious of Tsunade. He might be thinking that the pause before as a couple had something to do with everything. Isn't it better that I go with another male jonin? Or better still, if I just go alone? Naruto said. If you go alone, you'll not be doing anything but attract suspicion, you idiot. And going with another male is worse, Tsunade replied. Shizen said, No Kunoichi has arrived yet? Tsunade shook her head. No one is available right now. And Naruto, she frowned. Shizen looked at Naruto and found that he was blushing. What's with that face? Don't go around thinking perverted stuff while you're in front of me. I can't help it, Naruto said. This is my first time going on a mission alone with a girl. And with Shizen-san, too. I didn't mean anything about that, Shizen-san. It's just… Tsunade sighed. Your main priority is to spy on their government's secret dealings. I have received report that this village is currently financing Akatsuki. And Naruto, this is not an assault mission. Whomever you see, never initiate attack. I'll just send you two for surveillance. Is that clear? You mean to say that some of the Akatsuki might show up? Tsunade nodded. It's highly possible, so be always on your guard. Naruto clenched his fist. He seemed excited. Okay. I accept. When do we depart? I want you to be there as early as tomorrow. You'll depart this evening. I can hardly wait. See you later then, Shizen-san. I'll go prepare my things. I'll be at my apartment if you want to talk about the mission. Shizen just nodded and watched as Naruto bounced out of the room. He seemed in full spirits, Tsunade said. Shizen glared at her. What are you doing? Why did you suddenly pitch me up with Naruto? I have no choice. And what's with that tone? You sound as if you don't like to be paired up with Naruto. Yes. He was Jiraiya-sensei's disciple. I'm sure Naruto has been contaminated by his perverseness. Then why did you keep quiet while Naruto had been complaining earlier? I might have given in if you supported him. I was just too surprised to talk. But did you notice his blush? I got nervous thinking what was going on in his mind. Shizen, he's 15. You're 22. Aside from that, you know a list of techniques that can disable him, completely. What are you afraid of? Shizen was silent. I know Naruto. I believe in him. He's not like Jiraiya, who's a pervert to the core. Tsunade had a point, but if he got beaten up by me, it's your fault. Humph. Shizen stomped away out of the office. In his apartment, Naruto was packing his clothes when he heard knocks coming from the door. Coming, he said. He left what he was doing and went to open the door. It was Shizen. Shizen-san. Come in. He stepped aside to let her through. Have a seat. I'll get you a drink. Naruto went to the kitchen. Shizen silently took in the room. The place was tidy, but there was an unmistakable personality about it that made her think that the room was really owned by a man. Naruto returned with a pitcher of juice, a glass, and cookies. He poured juice into the glass and sat on the sofa across her. "Are you here for the mission?" he said. Shizen took a sip from her glass. "How will you treat me as your wife, Naruto?" Naruto was obviously taken aback. He blushed. "I haven't thought about that yet." Shizen let out an exasperated sigh. "What you're doing is a no-no, Naruto." "What is?" "That. Your face. You blush at the slightest hint of romance." Naruto looked away in embarrassment. "I'm sorry. I can't help it. This is going to be difficult. This is my first time on a mission alone with a girl. I'm not used to it." "Then quit imagining things." "It's not that. I'm more like embarrassed with the idea. To make this work, you have to be comfortable with me. Do you have something on your mind that could help me? Can you even hold my hand without shaking?" When Naruto didn't reply, she said, "Let me rephrase the question. Have you ever held hands with a girl before?" Naruto shook his head no. "You mean ever?" "I think I have done it, unconsciously. I mean, when the situation requires it. But as soon as I notice what I'm doing, I let go." Shizen stared at him, dumbfounded. "Look at this, Master Tsunade. Why did you come up with such a ridiculous idea?" Naruto said, "Am I really required to be quite intimate with you? Can't we just pretend to be together? Besides, displaying affection in public is considered impolite." "No. We don't know what might happen during the mission. There might come a time when we need to kiss or be seen doing this and that in front of many people." Naruto's blush deepened. He swallowed. "With you?" Shizen cocked an eyebrow. "Are you kidding me?" "Of course, it's with me," she sighed. "I refuse to go if you're not ready for this. I don't want to fail this mission too. Maybe there are more suitable guys for this mission than me. If you think that I'm not suitable, I'll tell Master Tsunade about it." The only names that are not scheduled for a mission, yet, are Lee and Niji. Compared to those two, you are more ordinary. Besides, I can't imagine myself going out with them. The expression on Naruto's face was like asking her, "And me? Can you imagine yourself going out with me?" So she cleared her throat and added, "Don't mind that last sentence. Anyway, let's practice." "Practice?" "Yes. First, tell me what you think about me. Honestly." "Do I have to?" "This is so I'll know how I will act around you." Naruto looked away. "Where do you want me to start?" "Geez, do I still have to tell you? Okay. What do you think of my appearance?" For me, you're pretty cute. To tell you the truth, I like the way you look." Shizen was unmoved with his confession. She thought that he was just telling that. No strings attached. But there were strings. "All right. That's a good start. At least, you like something about me. I like your appearance too. Just don't grin too much because it makes you look stupid." "Sorry. I was complimenting you there. Now, what do you know about my personality?" "This sounds like a marriage interview." "Of course. You will be my husband in this." Naruto was pressured by her stare. "You're kind and reliable. You also work hard, and you know how to use your time wisely. This is not a guessing game. What you just told me is applicable to every conscientious villager here. Tell me about me." Naruto shot her a look, considering. "Are you sure you want to know?" "Of course. But it's a little. Are you telling me or not?" "Okay. Don't hate me for this." He cleared his throat as if what he was going to tell her was of global importance. "You love animals, especially pigs and frogs. You love bitter food. You hate drunks and gamblers, except Master Tsunade. You haven't had any serious relationship with a man before because you dedicate your time in mastering medical techniques. You don't eat pork. You love dark colors. You bathe 3 times a day." He trailed off when he saw that Shizen was gaping at him. "Shizen-san?" She blushed. "Have you been spying on me?" "I told you. I'm asking the question." Naruto cringed. "No. Of course not." "Then how did you know?" Naruto's face had turned as red as a tomato. "I asked around about you." "What?" Naruto panicked. "I didn't mean anything by that. I mean, I'm just interested in you because you're not like every girl I've met. I'm sorry if that made you mad. His words were sincere. He wasn't hiding anything. Shizen felt that and relaxed a little. Even though she wouldn't admit it, she was flattered. How did you know that I bathe 3 times a day? She asked. Master Tsunade accidentally told that to me. But I didn't ask about it. Honest. I'll kill you if you tell that to anyone, do you understand? Yes. I promise. Shizen looked around casually, thinking. The conversation had been striking fuse after fuse in her rather routine type of life, and for her it was making her slightly on edge. But I'm surprised you know this much about me, she finally said. I didn't know that someone would be this interested in me. She looked back at Naruto. He was watching his feet. She suppressed a small giggle that could have embarrassed him even more. Naruto was so cute at that time she wanted to pinch his cheeks. Anyway, back to business. What do you think about it, my personality? Naruto looked up. As I said, it intrigues me. Do you like me the way I am? Naruto looked away and nodded. She smiled. The giggle threatened to go out once again. She swallowed it. Anyway, now that you told me what you think about me, it's my turn. I'll just sum up everything, okay? She stared at Naruto while considering if she should say what was on her mind or not. She decided to say it. I like you, Naruto. Naruto blinked at her in surprise. She knew by the look on his face what was on his mind. She teased him a little. What's the matter? Why are you looking at me like that? Must be my imagination. Sorry. You don't like what you heard? I thought for a second that you were confessing to me. Shizen laughed. It had a clear, exotic sound. Let's not be secretive with each other. I'm already 22. From what you said, I can confidently conclude that you like me a lot. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. The truth is it will make things easier between us. Okay. Silence. Shizen had never expected that it would come up to this. She hadn't had any idea that this boy in front of her had a crush on her. As he was now, she knew that if she didn't make the first step, nothing would materialize. The flame would extinguish by itself. The silence enfolding them at the moment was enough to undo the magic. So she stood up. She went and sat close to Naruto. Really close. Naruto swallowed. Is my conclusion correct? Do you like me as a woman? Shizen said, a sly smile on her lips. Naruto shot a look at the door. Gulping, he scooted away from her. Shizen-san, don't you think this is getting overboard? Shizen scooted and smothered Naruto to the arm of the couch. I'm asking you a question. If I told you that I do? Then I would be flattered. Now. This is very important to establish a convincing partnership. She paused, dramatically. Naruto, kiss me. Horrified, Naruto blurted out, What? I can't do that. Remember what I told you. It's very important for you to be comfortable with me. No. Even if it's for the mission. Shizen stood up and crossed her arms, pretending to be irritated. If you will be like that, I refuse to go. But Shizen-san, it's a kiss, Naruto argued. It's something you should only give to the one you love. Don't be a child forever. We are ninjas. A kiss is a potent weapon in time of need. Besides, don't take this too personal, Naruto. We are just practicing. What if someone saw us being awkward with each other? If you can't do this simple act with me, how do you intend to deceive the scrutinizing eyes of other people? But Naruto surrendered. He sighed. Okay. Shizen glanced at him. What's okay? We can kiss. Shizen sat back rather too enthusiastically beside him. Who will do it? Naruto asked. You are doing it. Men always initiate these things. She closed her eyes. Don't think. Just do it. Naruto stared at Shizen's pretty face. His blushing face reddened even more. Do we really need to do this? Just do it. Oh, okay. Naruto closed his eyes, leaned over, and kissed Shizen. Seconds passed by. Shizen pulled back and giggled. She was blushing, enjoying the moment. Naruto still had his lips puckered in front of her. You can open your eyes now, Shizen said. Naruto opened his eyes. See? There's nothing to it. Dazed, Naruto said your lips were soft. He caught himself. I didn't mean anything by it. That was very flattering. Listen. Like you, this is my first time doing this kind of mission. We should support each other. Think of me as your wife from now on. Is it really okay? Yes, it is. For now. It's very necessary that we establish connection. It's in the book. Shizen stood up to leave. I think we're ready. See you later. Shizen-san, would you mind if I ask a personal question? What would you like me to answer? Naruto hesitated for a second. If by any chance. Shizen faced him with an annoying expression on her face. She admitted to herself that she had gone overboard. A part of her brain regretted her insinuation, a part was grateful she had done it. But it was enough. She didn't want to push it further. Think about it thoroughly, Naruto, before you ask it to me. But in this mission, I'll temporarily be your girlfriend, so don't waste this chance. She winked at him and left. Walking on one of the streets in the village of Thorns, Shizen and Naruto seemed more like siblings than a couple. They were too shy even to hold hands. The tension between them was palpable. The conversation yesterday seemed to have worsened their awkwardness to each other. Naruto said, so, our talk was useless. Yes, it was, Shizen replied. What about you being my girlfriend? That was just a spur of the moment. So, how do we call our relationship right now? Shizen threw Naruto a deadly sideway glance. Her eyes were full of sleeplessness. Are you that desperate to have a girlfriend? No. Of course, not. I just feel that we are now more awkward to each other than we would have been if we didn't have that conversation. An old man sweeping in front of a small fruit stand noticed them. Lovers quarrel? It's so good to be young. Are you new here? We are on our honeymoon, Aji-san, Naruto said. I heard about your hot springs here. They're quite popular, so we thought why not pay a visit. Oh yes, indeed. Our hot springs here are known in the whole world. Yeah. Naruto smiled at Shizen, triumphantly. A potential lead. Aji-san, would you mind if I asked about a rumor about this village? A rumor? What rumor? Naruto leaned in, conspiringly. In a soft voice, he said, is it true that Akatsuki often visits this village? Oh, that rumor. I don't know if it's true, but some people said that they had seen some suspicious men wearing black cloaks talking to government officials. Naruto pretended to worry. Really? Are we going to be safe if we stay here? Don't worry. Up until now, this village has always been peaceful. As a matter of fact, that rumor attracts more tourists. Honey! Where are you? Called an old voice of a woman from inside the fruit stand. Oh, the boss is calling me, the old man said. I'm sorry that I must attend to her. Anyway, don't worry about those Akatsuki. Even if our village is small, we have a lot of amazing ninjas here. If I were you, I would just enjoy my stay and keep unnecessary worries away from my mind. Thank you, Aji-san. Later. Naruto smiled at Shizen. Information. That was nice acting, Shizen said. Naruto shrugged. I did this before. Let's go. Naruto suddenly held Shizen's right hand. Shizen was surprised. What's the big idea? Shizen asked. Naruto smiled. Men always initiate these things, right? He abruptly felt something from behind. He tensed up. Shizen noticed this. What's the problem? Someone is following us. Stay put. Naruto pulled Shizen to him and kissed her. Using the act as cover, he shot a sideway glance over his shoulder. A shadow hid from his sight. He broke the kiss and pretended that it was just a sign of affection. He smiled at Shizen. Did you see him? No. But someone was really there. We can't let our guard down. A beat. You're blushing. Shizen pinched his side and looked at him, evilly. Be thankful that I let you live, asshole. Okay. I'm sorry. Shizen let go. Humph. We had better find a place to stay for the night. Naruto found a decent looking inn at the east side of the village. The place was definitely ancient with the stone carvings and antique paintings on the wall. As he and Shizen stood in the doorway, an old lady of about 70 greeted them. Are you a couple? I'm sorry because we only have one room left, the old lady said. We are a couple and we are taking the room, Naruto said. You seem to be too young to be this pretty lady's husband. Shizen was miffed with the old lady's tone. No. We really are a couple. Besides, I'm already 18. Is it? I'm too old to be fooled, young man, the old lady said. But if you would indulge me with a true love's kiss, I might change my opinion about you. You're so naughty, Oba-san. Naruto was grinning. But I think there's no problem with that. The old lady smiled. Naruto held Shizen by the waist, to her surprise, and gave her a deep kiss. Shizen couldn't help but close her eyes. The old lady squealed in excitement. Naruto lovingly stared at Shizen after the kiss. Shizen didn't miss that look in his eyes. She blinked in disbelief. The old lady was blushing. Thank you very much. I was reminded of my dead husband because of that. She cackled. Follow me. The old lady showed them the room. It was not that big, but also not that small. There was a pair of futon on the floor laid side by side, 2 pillows, and a large blanket. The sliding door leading to the porch was open to let the night air enter. The old lady said, the bathroom is downstairs and the hot springs are open all night. It's gender-free so you can bathe together. Have a sweet night, you two. Thank you for your hospitality, Naruto said. Just look for me if you have questions. The old lady slid the entrance door close. Naruto instantly felt a dark aura emanating from Shizen once they were left alone. Naruto laughed nervously. What do you think of the room? Did you really have to do that? Shizen was grim. Naruto flinched. I'm sorry. It was necessary. Don't kill me, please. Shizen smacked him with her fist. He ended up with a large knot on top of his head. Ow, Naruto groaned. Shizen said, I think that you could have just talked it out with the old lady since you are so good at lying. I'll take a bath. You stay here. What? You should not go alone. It's very dangerous. I can take care of myself. But Shizen glared at him with murderous intent. I understand. Humph. After taking a bath, Shizen arrived on Naruto pacing the room. She was touched by what he was doing. He really cared about her. Stop that. It's annoying, she said. Naruto jerked his head towards her. He stared at her for a moment and sighed. They didn't move for a time. Shizen was looking at the futon. Naruto was looking at the ceiling. So what is our sleeping arrangement? Since you've shown your true perverted self, we're going to separate the futons. I'll sleep at this side. You sleep at that side. But what if the old lady suddenly comes in and arrives on us like that? Lie to her. You're good at it, aren't you? Shizen-san, look. You told me that we needed to establish connection. You told me that we should support each other. You even told me that you would be my temporary girlfriend. What's happening with you now? I didn't expect that you would be this unpredictable. You always caught me off guard. I didn't have time to prepare myself. You just did this and did that without asking for my consent first. You scare me. Wasn't that the plan? To act as natural as possible? Where would you see a husband asking permission for a kiss from his wife? It's affecting me a great deal, Naruto. You can't imagine how much. What's that supposed to mean? Shizen didn't answer. He sighed. I'm sorry if I did that to you, he told her. Okay, let's do this. From now on, you take care of our little act and I focus on surveillance. How's that? Shizen frowned at him. I mean, you initiate everything. Kisses, holding hands, hugs, everything. Shizen was still frowning. You don't like that? I think that's a good idea. And, as if to gain some pride she thought she had lost, she added, but we're still sleeping apart. Shush. Your voice is too loud. What if the old lady overhears us? He paused and looked at the wall for a moment. Then he looked back at her straight in the eyes. Shizen-san, all I'm asking from you is a little faith. Do you really think that I'll take advantage of you just because I have every opportunity to do that in this mission? Please trust me even a little. We're a team. Shizen just looked at him. She then went to the futon and slid under the blanket. Naruto frowned. Aren't we sleeping apart? I'm tired. I don't want to concern myself with trivialities. Naruto stared at her with disbelief. Man, women are so complicated. He shook his head and, after watching her for a moment, he went back to business. Anyway, it's a bad idea if we both sleep in this situation, especially after I've confirmed that someone is following us. I had better stay up and guard her. And that was what he did. Naruto had been sitting beside his futon for hours. It was nearly dawn now. He was watching Shizen's face as she slept without a care in the world. Suddenly, Shizen sat up and opened her eyes. He was surprised. Shizen looked around. When she found Naruto, she embraced him. Papa, don't leave us. Please stay. Don't leave Mama and me, she mumbled. Naruto gaped. She's talking in her sleep. Papa. Naruto hugged her. I'll never leave you. I'll always be here. Shizen smiled, satisfied. That was surprising. Naruto hadn't thought that Shizen had a secret like that. But it didn't last long, his surprise. He knew best how lonely it felt growing up without parents. Also, he had had a better situation because he had lost his parents when he was born. Imagine someone taking your parents away from you or leaving after you had learned to love them. It would be very painful to accept. The pain would definitely seek a way out if it had been really unbearable. Shizen's pain came out in her dreams. He let the embrace last for a while until he was sure that Shizen was already sound asleep. He carefully laid her back on the futon, got up, and went to catch some fresh wind out on the porch. The roosters crowed to signal the coming of a new day. Shizen opened her eyes, sat up, stretched, and yawned. She noticed that Naruto was sitting beside his futon. He seemed fighting to maintain his sitting posture. There were dark circles around his eyes. His eyelids fluttered in drowsiness. She suddenly noticed her open robe and her exposed cleavage. She thought that Naruto had stayed up to watch her. Who knew what he had seen? She hurriedly fixed her robe, reached out, and slapped Naruto. Pervert. Naruto started. Pervert? Where? Where? What are you doing sitting there all night? Naruto sighed in relief. I thought there really was someone. Did you see? Did you see? You took advantage of me while I was asleep, didn't you? What? No. I stayed up because I was worried someone might attack us while we slept. He rubbed the red patch on his cheek. That hurts. Shizen blushed and smiled apologetically. Is that so? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. She realized something. Wait. If you stayed up all night, that means you saw me. Ah, that? Don't worry, I understand that you don't want other people to know. I promise that I'll die not telling that to anyone. Trust me. Please, please. I really don't want other people to know. I'd rather run naked across Konoha than let someone know about it. A beat. I mean, if I have no other choice. You were talking about your parents. I don't want to talk about it. I don't remember the details anyway. Master Tsunade picked me up from the street. She has been my parent ever since. I just developed that habit out of the blue. One day, Master Tsunade was laughing at me after she had witnessed me talking in my sleep. I never succeeded in getting rid of that habit. You should only get rid of a habit if it is bad. Besides, talking about your parents in your sleep only proves how much you love them. Now who's older, she thought. Most kids his age often make fun of other people's quirks and habits. But Naruto was different. He was sensitive. He knew what other people needed, how other people wanted to be treated. Shizen looked at him in a new light. She smiled. Thank you, Naruto. Naruto yawned. Let's go down and grab something to eat. She let go of her robe. The move exposed her cleavage again. When she looked up to see how Naruto would react, she found that Naruto was already sleeping. She shook her head and laid him down on the futon. If you keep being like that with me, I might actually fall in love with you. She had already. She just didn't know yet. They continued their surveillance in the village, but, unfortunately, they couldn't find any lead. The people just simply knew it as a rumor. No one had actually seen the Akatsuki in the village. It was afternoon when Naruto and Shizen went back to the inn. They entered their room with a look of disappointment on their faces. We have been surveying the village for 2 days, but there's still no concrete information regarding Akatsuki. Could it be that Konoha had been misled? Naruto said. I don't know. Maybe that spy last time had already told them about us. If that was true, why haven't they attacked us yet? Suddenly, a chain shot into the porch's sliding door and wound around Shizen's body. In the blink of an eye, the chain retracted and pulled Shizen into the sliding door, destroying it. The chain continued to retract, pulling Shizen along with it, until a hand grabbed the chains across Shizen's back in midair. Shizen was unconscious now. Naruto ran outside and saw Madara standing on top of a post. Madara? Naruto blurted out. He frowned. Was this really Madara? Something about him was not right. Oh, if it isn't Naruto-kun. How are you? Madara said. Put Shizen-san down. No. I want you to know what I do to nosy people like you. You should have just let us alone. We are doing business here. Do you know why this place is thriving with tourists? That's because we are protecting the village from bandits and criminals. This is a mutual understanding between the Akatsuki and the village. We will leave. Please, just spare Shizen-san. It's too late. You should have regretted going here in the first place. Shizen opened her eyes. Madara. Hi, sweetie. How are you? Put me down, you pervert. I don't want to do that, sweetheart. Ah, I know. What about this? Naruto-kun, let's have a trade. If you give up yourself to us, I'll let her go. How does it sound? Shizen was horrified. No! Naruto, don't listen to him. He will not keep his words. What do you think? Is this woman worth dying for? Madara said. Naruto, listen, Shizen said. Your life is 10 times more important than mine. Please, think carefully. If you die here, Konoha might lose in the war. Forget about me and escape. The damsel in distress has said her speech. What do you think? All right. Let her go, Naruto said. Oh, you really are an idiot. You'll give your life to a useless bitch like her? Don't talk that way about Shizen-san. She's very important to me. Now let her go. If you hurt her in any way, I'll promise you that you'll suffer in my hands. Naruto, Shizen whispered. She didn't know what feeling to entertain first, joy at Naruto's concern for her or fear at Naruto's impending demise. Her heart was hurting in her chest. Out of place, but she couldn't help it. The element she had been waiting for had just come. How he valued her. Basing it to his action just now, there was no mistaking it that he deemed her very important. Worth dying for in this villain's words. With a jolt it came. Her heart answered back. When did it start? She didn't know or care. Only the truth mattered. She loved him. Madara got intimidated by Naruto's stare. Blah blah blah. You have a way with words. Fine. Madara raised his free hand and a chain shot out his sleeve. It wound around Naruto's body. Madara let go of Shizen and she fell to the ground. Now come here and die, Madara yelled. Madara flicked his wrist and the chain retracted, pulling Naruto along with it. Madara snapped his free arm and a kunai sprung into his hand. As Naruto came, he plunged the kunai, aiming at Naruto's throat. When the tip was about to touch Naruto's skin, a bright ball of electricity shot out from Madara's chest which stopped his movements at once. He couldn't help but let go of Naruto. Naruto crashed to the ground. So, you're the fake Madara who has been using our name to plunder for money, an ominous voice said. This voice Uchiha Sasuke? The impostor said. Die. Sasuke grabbed the impostor's heart and crushed it. He let go of the corpse and looked down at Naruto. I see that you're still a fool who will throw away your life for your friends, Sasuke said. The wind tossed his dark hair. His stare was cold and piercing. The Sharingan made it more awful. Sasuke, Naruto muttered. I can kill you here and now, but it will be just a waste of time. Don't think that you can already go against me at your current level. After saying that, Sasuke disappeared. Sasuke, wait. Sasuke. It was no use. Shit. Naruto hurriedly broke out from the chain and ran to Shizen. He helped Shizen out of the chain around her. She was crying. Shizen-san? Are you alright? You fool. Why are you so dumb? For goodness sake, you could have been killed. I'm sorry. I was so worried about you. I thought that I'll never see you again. I'm sorry. Damn it. Loving an idiot like you is giving me a hard time. Naruto was taken aback. Huh? Shizen stood up and wiped her tears. Naruto stood behind her. Shizen-san, what did you say? Naruto asked. Shizen abruptly turned around and planted a loud kiss on his lips. Naruto blinked at that. That's for saving me. Now let's go home. I have enough of this foolishness. As Naruto composed himself, he felt a murderous intent aimed at him. He looked around and saw Momoko glaring on top of the fence. You asshole! You unfaithful son of a! I followed you here all the way from Konoha and this is what you will show me. I'm gonna kill you! Hey, wait. What unfaithful? You are just misunderstanding things. Too late. I just saw you kiss Shizen-san. Prepare yourself, you pervert. Wait. That's a part of our cover. Help me, Shizen-san. You're not going to get away from me. Naruto ran away with all his might, shouting for help to anyone who might hear. Tsunade was wide-eyed after hearing the story. He thought that I was still acting, then, Shizen said, looking into the distance. I took advantage of that and kept my feelings from him. So, when he asked me out, I shunned his advance. Now I regret it. I should have gone with him. He was honestly infatuated with me. I could see it in his eyes. I didn't have the vaguest idea that Naruto had a crush on you. Surprise, surprise? And she giggled. What do you think? Could it have worked between us? He made you fall in love with him. If you gave him a chance, then I think it could have. Shizen began to cry. He was so gentle and sensitive and caring. He was like a dream. I was so touched when he threw away his life to save mine. Nobody has ever done it for me. Nobody. Everyone will miss him so much. Now, Shizen was crying even louder. I loved him, master. I loved him very much. Tsunade knew that no words would quench the sadness of her apprentice. All she could do was listen to Shizen as she sang the haunting melody of grief. She closed her eyes and endured. Early that morning of the third day, other countries' representatives arrived at Konoha. It was Naruto's burial day. The preparations had been finished. Tsunade had approved of the casket made of ebony, where Naruto's body would be laid in, to be carried around the village so that every villager could see him off to his final destination. The sky was remarkably clear, without a hint of clouds, a sailor's sky. It was on Earth that the clouds were around, only that they were in the form only felt, not seen. Every villager wore black. No stores were open. No classes in schools. The day was special. The villagers were surprised to see the Yukikage, clad in white robe with the character for snow on her hat painted in blue, her eyes a pretty pair of gray, skin as white as the element she represented, manners as soft as a feather. She walked with an entourage of 50 high-class shinobis. There was also the Tetsukage, leader of the Hagakure, the hidden village of blades, wearing his most expensive black robe sewn with intricate spade patterns around the hems, the character for iron painted in white on his black hat, a man in his 60s possessing a frightening pair of black eyeballs with irises of metal gray, a forged steel mask covering his face in the typical assassin-type design. He ambled with an entourage of 20 samurais and 15 special ops-class shinobis. These two leaders were the last to arrive. The Kazekage, Gaara, had been in the village since the other day, talking with Naruto in the clear glass when no one could see, whispering promises and admiration to his personal hero that in a sudden had left the living realm. The Mizukage had arrived 2 hours ago. She was a beautiful woman in her 30s, a prodigy, beauty and brains. Her blue robe contrasted the grief on her face. Naruto had brought her back on her tracks when she had doubted her effectiveness as Mizukage. Naruto had accepted her eccentric nature of being a maniac for attention, saying to her, "As long as you make yourself shine in ways not offensive to children, your attitude of being greedy for attention will never ruin your reputation. Anyway, it's important to a Mizukage to be popular. I, too, am hungry for attention, but I'm not good as you in getting it. Sometimes I even piss off people because of that. But I also want men to pay attention to me," she had replied. Naruto laughed at her. "They are always paying attention, but you know us men. Most of us just keep it secret. Do you find me attractive, Naruto?" Naruto scratched at his cheek for an itch only existent when he was shy. He looked away. You could say that." She suddenly kissed him on the cheek, stood up, and faced Naruto with regal authority. "Now, shinobi of Konoha, have a safe trip home. Please visit me sometime, okay? I really enjoyed our conversations." She hadn't expected that it would be the last conversation she would ever make with the man she owed her resolve from. She had cried inside her room provided by Tsunade after seeing him in the cold glass. The Reikage had the smallest entourage. The large old man with a white goatee and spear-shaped mustache had only his brother Killer Bee and 4 other shinobis with him. Not that it would make a difference in their security. He and his brother were strong enough to take care of everything. Besides, being in Konoha, they knew that they were safe, not to mention the truce which had already taken effect. Last night, Killer Bee had stood for 20 minutes in front of Naruto, just staring at him. When he was about to leave, he put his right hand over the glass directly above Naruto's face. He left one of his 7 swords beside the glass encasement, and went back to his room. For him, Naruto had been a brother, a disciple, and a friend. Naruto was the only other Jinchuriki, container, that was able to control the massive, evil chakra in him. In that aspect, they had had a strong bond. He would treasure that bond forever. One of the 3 leaders that had cried after seeing Naruto, the Mizukage and the Kazekage were the other ones, was the Tetsukage, the short old man with a severe disposition. The moment he arrived, limping to the encasement, supported by 2 of his personal nurses, his big nose crinkled and clear snot came out. Then, without caring for reputation or shame, he sobbed. "Among the children I spent a little time in my life, The boy with the head of the sun and eyes of the sky was the only one who so courageously revived the person I was born as. I had forgotten who I was and led a life of severity and perfection. He came and reacquainted me to the child I had been once, the clumsy, no good child who only thought of making his dream come true, he had told Tsunade. I consider him my grandson. I love him and will miss him. I thank Konoha for giving me the chance to share a part of my life with an amazing boy. Tsunade knelt down and embraced him, telling him that she understood. The ceremony started at 9 of the clock. There had been a small dispute over the selection of the people who would carry the casket. In the end, Tsunade had given Sakura, as Naruto's closest friend, the authority to select. She had selected Shikamaru of the Nara clan, Niji of the Hyuga clan, Kiba of the Inuzuka clan, Sai, a former Root Anbu and a friend, Yumino Irika, Naruto's first trusted teacher, Rock Lee, a rival, Yamato, the substitute handler of Team Kakashi, and lastly Kakashi, who had watched over Naruto as a teacher and as a father. A young priestess led the procession. She carried Naruto's forehead protector on a pillow. 2 Anbus held up the Konohagakuru's flag with the swirling leaf emblem and the flag of the Land of Fire behind her. Then, it was Naruto's casket. The 7 Kages were in 2 neat lines behind his casket. After them were Naruto's loving friends and the villagers. The first step was signaled by a loud beat from the drums, and then music filled the quiet air. It was the same music used in the procession for Chiyo, an elder of Sanagakure. The sad melody started with slow notes that aimed for the sadness, but also gave the feeling of longing, and a wish for the departing to have a safe journey. Smooth as water with seamless transitions, the notes reached the ears of every people present in the event. Like a hand it gripped the heart, like a blade it cut the soul, and like the sky it lit the mind, stirred memories, pulling them out one by one from the subconscious. With the song in the air, the emotions couldn't be contained. Faces gleamed with tears and breaths rang with quiet whimpers of grief. Naruto's casket was placed at the center of the court in front of the Phoenix Temple just below the sculpted faces of the Hokages in the mountain. The 12 great monks of Konoha, old and sagely in their appearance, clad in their red robes with large sandalwood beads around their necks, formed a large C in front of the casket and began to pray. The serene eyes of the people below the platform watched. The hums from each of the monks blending in a baritone that was good to hear were discarded by ears. They were thinking of Naruto. What the monks were doing was for them just a formality. The most important was the impending departure of Naruto's body into the darkness of the earth. Somehow they had identical urges to flee so that they would be spared from the pain of watching helplessly, as their hero's body was being lowered into the ground. However, they knew that they wouldn't flee, be there that urge or not. Until the last, they would be with Naruto. At least, wherever he was, he would think that they loved him as he had loved them. At least, they could do what they could not when he was still alive. This was their last chance to show their appreciation. They would give him what he had always wanted, to be acknowledged by the whole village. The burial was a solemn event. The next morning, Sakura woke up with tears in her eyes. She had dreamed of Naruto. Her mother had let her sleep without demanding anything from her like eat or take a bath. She thought her love for her mother had increased because of that. She rotated her head towards her lamp table and reached out for the framed picture of Team Kakashi. Now, she was all alone. Sasuke had been the first to disappear from her life. Now, it was Naruto. She wondered how she could endure another morning with only herself as companion. Thinking about it, she had relied on Naruto too much that she hadn't thought of what she would do when the time came that she had to fend for herself. She missed him, already. Usually, she would be at the window early in the morning, waiting for Naruto who regularly jogged around the village. Every morning as he passed by her house, he would shout, "If you sleep too much, you'll get fat." Not knowing that she secretly waited for him to pass by. It had been a routine. And now, that sweet, little ritual would never happen again. She got out of bed and washed her face. In the kitchen, she arrived on her mother unconsciously stirring her coffee, looking out of the window. She found it strange to see her mother like that. "Mom?" Mrs. Haruna looked at her, trying to give a small smile. "Hi, honey. Good morning." You could have said that more energetically. She sat beside her mother. "How are you?" Sakura put her hand over her mother's. "Mom, I'm okay. Honest. I'm a little bit sad, but I'm okay. Don't worry about me." Mom nodded. "If you say so. What do you want to eat?" She finally realized that her mother hadn't made breakfast yet, unlike the usual. "Anything, I guess. A hot chocolate for starters." "Okay. I'll make something for you." Mrs. Haruno stood up. She went to make Sakura a cup of hot chocolate. Once finished, she put the frying pan on the stove and fried some bacon and eggs. Sakura sipped her chocolate quietly, watching the clouds roll by outside. Mrs. Haruno set the plate with the eggs and bacon on the table. I'll cook some rice. Could you wait a little while? As her mother went to wash the rice cooker, Sakura said, It's all right, Mom. I'll settle for bread. We have some, right? I think there are leftovers from last night. But is it really all right? It's fine. Mrs. Haruno heated the bread in the oven and brought it to the table. Both of them began to eat. Sakura stood up after she had finished 2 breads. I should be going now, Mom. It's still too early. I will drop by Naruto's grave before going to the hospital. I see. Take care then. Thanks, Mom. I love you. After taking a bath, Sakura was on her way. Naruto's grave was at the center of a patch of land in front of the Phoenix Temple. The grave was marked by a small obelisk erected at the center, surrounded on the ground by white blocks of sediment arranged in a circular pattern. The patch of land was fenced with wrought iron coated with melted brass, and now the sun glinted on the metal fence, making it appear like gold. Sakura was surprised to see Gaara standing in front of the obelisk. Temari and Kankuro stood at the fence, obviously trying to ignore what Gaara was doing. Gaara noticed her presence. Sakura-san, good morning to you. Hi. I thought you already left yesterday. No. I stayed for another day. It will be a long time before I can visit him again. Gaara produced 3 sticks of incense, lit them up, and planted them in the jar of sand where few consumed sticks of incense were. This is my last chance to say my thanks to him. This is a little surprising. Gaara faced her. Do you still have a grudge against me? Sakura blushed under his stare. It was sincere in its intensity. What do you mean? I did attack Konoha once. Haven't you forgotten it yet? No. Of course, not. Then why is it surprising for you to see me here? It's just that I've never known that you value Naruto this much. Ah. Yes. I'm sorry. I am what I am now because of him. I owe him a lot, Sakura-san. He was my savior. He cast him a meaningful glance. I take it that you were his girlfriend. It was more of a question. Sakura's face reddened. No. I was only his friend. You sound like Temari when confronted with the same question. Temari threw a rock at him, but his sand floated from his gourd and caught it in midair. Stop it before I drag you out of here, you stupid brother, Temari said. Off Sakura's confused look, Gaara said, I see that you can't believe my older sister can treat me like this, now. As I said, Sakura-san, I'm not the same killer I was. I'm now the leader of Sunigakure. I found it fun to tease people around me every now and then. And because it will be a very long time until I am again able to talk with you, I will tell you a little secret. Temari was in love with Naruto, and she had cried over him many times. Gaara. Sakura giggled. Gaara offered her a small smile. I hope that we can be friends, Sakura-san. I apologize for my cold attitude towards you and the others in the past. He offered his hand. Sakura took it. Of course, we can. I promise to visit if I have time. I'll not look forward to that. Come, but never promise. You're always welcome anytime. Bring some of your friends and I'll be sure to throw a huge welcoming party. All right. Then I'll not promise, but I'll count on the party. Goodbye, Sakura-san. Gaara went to his siblings. Temari pinched his cheek and he uncharacteristically apologized. He gave Sakura a nod before carrying on. That small conversation with Gaara lightened the burden in her chest. Naruto had accomplished one of his dreams, having faithful friends. Maybe out there, wherever he was seeing this. She was sure he was happy. Maybe, now, she could accept that no matter what she did, he would never come back. Even if it was painful, she would try. Momoko had been waiting for Tsunade ever since the crack of dawn. She was outside the closed office, crossed arms, and enduring the impatience that so itched her dark skin. The hallway was quiet. Nobody was strolling to and fro, unlike in usual weekdays. Outside, she could see the leaves being ruffled by the wind and the sky was clear. Man, when will someone show up? She muttered, staring with resentment at the stairway leading to the 4th floor. She tried to imagine seeing someone, anyone, coming up and greeting her, and then she sighed. What she was trying to do was childish. They're so late. A few seconds after, Shizen showed up, her head bobbing as she ascended the stair. Momoko-chan? She said as she approached her. Shizen-san. Have you been waiting for Master Tsunade? Yes. Where is she? The question should be if she would show up. She told me that she would not come today. I'm sorry. She wanted to be alone to think through things. What is it that you want from her? Momoko was disappointed. It's nothing, really. I'll just come back tomorrow, then. It's not nothing, right? You would not wait like this if it was. I will tell Master Tsunade if it's really important. Momoko stared at Shizen for a time. She was debating with herself. I'm not sure if you will believe me. Then you are also not sure if I won't believe. Come on, tell me. My instincts have been bothering me ever since last night. It's I can't tell it, after all. You're intriguing me, Momoko-chan. My heart is starting to beat fast in my chest. Is it something like you just discovered the lost scroll or Mimune's treasure? No. Of course not. It's not like that at all. I can't explain it. It just occurred to me. I don't know how to call it. A hunch, maybe? Premonition? I don't know. But you know about my clan, right? The general knowledge about our animal instincts? It's that. You are scaring me, Momoko. Can't you just tell me what it is? I feel that Naruto is still alive. Shizen frowned. That's not a good joke to start the day, Momoko. Don't go crazy on me this early in the morning. We just held Naruto's burial yesterday. I knew you would not believe me. It's too far-fetched. But Shizen-san, I always feel like this whenever there is an incoming storm or an earthquake, a calamity, a dispute danger. This is the same feeling I get when something terrible is about to happen to me. Shizen-san, right now, I have that same feeling or whatever it is that you might call it. It itches inside of me. I feel that Naruto is still alive. But you saw him, didn't you? I saw him, too, and I couldn't have mistaken him for someone else. Momoko, Naruto is dead. Aren't you just denying that? No. I will not deny that it was him. But still. I know you're still upset with what happened. It's hard for everyone to accept that he is dead, but you should try your best to move on. Momoko, he wouldn't like it if you kept on being like this. Let him go, okay? Momoko nodded. I'll try. Don't tell this to Master Tsunade. Naruto was like a son to her. Also, she is not like me. She might hurt you if she hears about this. I understand. In the river beyond the border of the Land of Fire, beyond the border of the Shinobi lands, many kilometers away from Konoha, Naruto's body emerged on the surface. The slow current languorously carried him along like a log. Trees surrounded the river on both sides. Mountains surrounded the trees. A herd of 5 deer drinking from the bank glanced up, intrigued, and watched as the body went by in front of them. Vultures circled above, waiting for the water to take the body to the shore. But the river seemed to sense the danger and kept Naruto in the center. A school of small fishes swam underneath him like personal guards. An eagle screamed and chased the vultures away. The vultures, cowards as they were, fled from the mighty talons of the King of the Skies. The eagle perched itself on a branch and looked down at Naruto. When Naruto went beyond its sight, the eagle would fly to another branch. It was overseeing Naruto's safety. Naruto drifted on the river for another 2 days. Hiromi sang a song as she swung in rhythm the wooden bucket in her right hand. She was a cute 8-year-old child with beautiful black hair and big, round eyes. Her voice was like coming from a flute in its clarity and sweetness. It was not a wonder that when she grew up she would be a great singer. Little steps will take me to the stream. Little work will make my mama beam. Little smiles will make Hiromi happy. Little this, little that will make Hiromi queen. Na-na-na, 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 na-na. She reached the river, put down the bucket, and ran towards the water. Her cute little laugh echoed in the forest as she danced in the shallow part of the river, relishing the cold feeling of wetness on her skirt. She stopped, stooped over, and scooped some water to drink. The clean liquid refreshed her throat. Then she danced again, her errand temporarily forgotten. The eagle screamed in the sky. Hiromi stopped and looked up. She saw its wide wings that blocked some sunlight, covering her face with shadow. She smiled and mimicked the eagle. The eagle made 2 complete revolutions above her, and then it disembarked from its path and swooped down towards her. Believing that it was coming for her, she put her small hands over her head and ran towards the shore. But the eagle wasn't aiming for her. It was aiming for a large rock a few meters away. It flapped its huge wings to decrease its speed and perched on top of the rock. As if calling for attention, the eagle screamed again. Hiromi stayed crouched on the ground for a few moments, trying her best to ignore the eagle. The eagle screamed again, but this time it had a different quality. Her ears that were gifted to differentiate between sounds made her notice that quality. The scream was not hostile. It was like asking for help. Slowly, she turned her head towards the eagle. The eagle screamed again and flapped its great wings as if beckoning her. Tentatively, she stood up. She stared at the eagle and noticed the body. Now, it was clear to her what the eagle wanted from her. She ran towards the body. She didn't know why she was not scared. At a glance, the body looked dead. She reached out for the body's neck and felt for a pulse. At first there was nothing, she was sure of it, but all of a sudden there it was, strong and very much alive. She felt relieved over that small accomplishment even though it was the man who had done it himself. The man was strong, she decided. For the eagle to do something like seeking for help for him, he must be a great man from somewhere. She turned the body over and lowered her cheek to feel his breathing. He was breathing, but it was weak, a feather against her skin. She put her ear over his chest. His heart was beating, but it was also weak. She inspected him. He didn't seem to have any injuries. She frowned. Could it be that he was a sailor? His ship had sunk because of a storm and the river had taken him here. She hit her head. Her imagination was kicking in again. She didn't need it now. Then she noticed the crystal amulet on the ground beside his neck. It was sparkling as if a piece of heaven had been torn and placed inside the crystal. The dust of light that moved inside the amulet mesmerized her eyes. She held it on her palm and looked at it closely. Abruptly, a crazy idea occurred to her. She gasped. He must be a prince, she said. She put the amulet inside his jacket and looked up at the eagle. Mr. Eagle, could you guard him for a little longer? I'm gonna get some help. The eagle screeched in response. It was too loud, she had to cover her ears. Thank you. She stood up and ran up the path back to her home. A white wolf had been watching Naruto in the shadows. He could not go near, or was more afraid to go near, because the eagle who had robbed him one of his eyes was guarding Naruto. He paced behind the thick bushes. The little girl had gone for help and any time soon help would come. He needed to act now. But how? That eagle was a formidable opponent. Kinjo, what are you doing here? It was another wolf. Bakuryu. Look at that rock. Bakuryu squinted through the bushes. A boy. Are you thinking of eating him? We are not allowed to eat human beings, Kinjo. I know that. But can't you smell something from him? What do you mean? He smells of flesh, that's all. Can't you smell it? Bakuryu looked at him. No. He smells of Myobokuzen, the village of toads. Bakuryu sniffed again. My nose is not that sharp. All I can smell from him is the river. We need to get him. I think he is a shinobi. Why didn't you say so? Come on. Wait. Yudai is with him. Bakuryu took a step back. Yudai? He glanced up at the eagle. He has been guarding the boy. I'll call the pack. Bakuryu loped into the forest. He brought 22 wolves with him. Oh, a boy. So you are finally coming to your senses, Kinjo-sama. He looks tasty, a wolf said. He is not food, Kinjo said. Then what is he? The air of Myobokuzen is on his skin. He might be a shinobi. Really? Then let's get him. Kyujo, he is with Yudai. It will not be easy. Suddenly, the eagle screamed twice. The wolves jerked their heads toward it. He is calling for help. He might have already sensed us, Bakuryu said. Kinjo, we should move now. Okay. Come on, Kinjo replied. He led the pack towards the shore. Upon seeing them, Yudai spread his wings and screamed. The wolves fanned out in front of the eagle. They were growling, baring their fangs, but cautiously inching forward. I'll snatch the boy, Kinjo said. You distract Yudai. Bakuryu nodded at Kinjo, then at Kyujo. They made two subgroups and moved from both sides of the eagle. Bakuryu, Kinjo, and Kyujo exchanged meaningful glances, and then they began the attack. The thunder of paws echoed around, shaking the ground. The wolves opened their mouths. Two wolves leaped toward the eagle, but before they could reach it, two other eagles caught them in midair, carried them up, and dropped them dead to the ground. The two eagles circled above. 6 more eagles joined in. After a few seconds, 12 hawks arrived and screamed, swooping above the heads of the wolves. The wolves backed off. What are we going to do now, Kinjo? Bakuryu asked. I can't pass up this chance. We have been here for 26 years, Bakuryu. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Kinjo set aside his fear and sprinted forward. The birds of prey one by one disengaged from the flock and dropped down like meteors. Kinjo! Everyone! Don't just stand there. Protect Kinjo! Led by Bakuryu, the wolves did their best to catch up to Kinjo. But the birds bested them. Armed with strong talons and the advantage of flight, the eagles and the hawks felled them one by one. They desperately fought by attempting to snap at the birds' talons that held the pelts on their backs, but it was useless. The birds knew where to take hold. Kinjo had nothing on his mind but to get to Naruto. He ignored the whimpers of his pack and trudged on. A hawk aimed at him, swooping down with talons spread like blades. Kinjo timed the coming of the hawk. As they were about to collide, Kinjo swerved to his right and abruptly twisted to his left. He grabbed the hawk out of the air by his mouth and broke its neck. Yudai, seeing a chance, flew towards Kinjo. Kinjo! Yudai is coming! Watch out! Bakuria cried. Kinjo looked with alarm at the eagle. However, before Yudai could reach him, a fast object sliced through the air. It hit the pebbles. It was a dart. Yudai flapped its wings and changed direction. It was an opportunity, and Kinjo didn't let it pass. He loped towards Naruto. A young girl shrieked. Kinjo was about to snatch Naruto when a powerful force pushed him sideways. Kinjo stood up. He growled at the man standing next to the rock. The man had a lean body and short, dark hair. He also had a well-trimmed goatee. His arm was extended in front of him. He was confidently grinning. Sunio, Kinjo said. What are you doing here? This boy is Hiromi's prince. I'll not let you lay your filthy paws on him. Another dart flew from nowhere, but Sunio easily caught it with his left hand. Setsuko is also here, I see. Hiromi reached Naruto. Immediately, she inspected him. She sighed. They haven't touched him yet, father. She glared at Kinjo. Go away, Kinjo. Onii-san is not food. Just give him up to us, Sunio, and nobody's gonna be hurt, Kinjo said. Over our dead bodies. Hiromi hugged Naruto's head. It's just what my daughter says, Kinjo. I don't want to fight you. Then, it's no use talking. Kinjo dashed forward with murder in his remaining good eye. He meant to kill Sunio. Sunio grinned, excitedly. Suddenly, a shrill whistle cut through the air. The wolves, including Kinjo, stopped on their tracks. You don't stand a chance against him, father. Fall back. A woman yelled. Kinjo snarled in disgust. We're not finished yet, Sunio. We'll get the boy, whether you like it or not. To his pack, he said, we're retreating. He stared at Sunio. Remember this, Sunio. I'm sorry, was all Sunio could say. The wolves retreated into the forest. Yudai perched on the rock and screamed as if to greet Hiromi and Sunio. Thank you, Mr. Eagle, Hiromi said, smiling. Thank you for taking care of him. Yudai screeched and flapped his wings. Hiromi, this is Yudai, Sunio said. He is the guardian of the forest. Yudai? Is that his name? Yes. He turned and looked down at Naruto. His expression was blank. It will be dangerous for him to stay here. You said it, Dad? Even Kinjo wanted to eat him. Yes. Fetch some water, Hiromi. Sunio was now sitting on the porch of his house, smoking his pipe. He had taken Naruto inside the guest room. Hiromi had stayed to take care of him. His house was not that big, but it had a large dojo. It stood alone in the center of the bamboo forest. The town was kilometers away, and he would only go down once every month. Honey, here's some tea, Saki said. She was an elegant-looking woman despite of her simple taste of clothing. Her skin was smooth and white, and she had a lovely smile that won the hearts of those who were graced to see it. She always wore her black hair in a cascade. Thank you, dear, Sunio said. Saki sat beside him. Are you thinking about the boy? Yes. I'm thinking why Kinjo would interest himself in him. Hiromi was saying that Kinjo wanted to eat the boy. You know Kinjo, honey. He would never do that. Even if he was already starving, he'd rather die than eat a human being. What if he just wanted to give him to Setsuko, she said, smiling slyly. I mean, the boy is cute. Setsuko will love him for sure. Sunio looked at her, incredulously. Are you aware of what you're saying? She giggled. Of course I do. He shook his head. Setsuko will kill him. It's just plain impossible. Did Hiromi tell you that Yudai was guarding the boy? Yudai? That's a surprise. Could the boy be a king in some faraway kingdom? You know what, with your rich imagination, you should be a writer. Yudai is a wise creature. He can see things our eyes easily miss. What do you think? Maybe this boy was sent by heaven to finally open the doors to our country. Who should be the writer? Let's not make conclusions. After the boy has woken up, he can clear things for us. Sunio sighed through his nose. Saki stood up. Okay then. I'll leave you to yourself. Drink the tea. It's getting cold. Sunio smiled. Thanks. Kinjo lay on top of a smooth precipice inside the cave, his snout resting on top of his front paws. Drops of water dripped from the stalactites above, sending a monotone of familiar notes, all throughout the cave. Bakuria leaped up from below and stood beside him. We lost 6 wolves. The others are seriously injured. I'm sorry. It was my fault. Bakuria lay down beside Kinjo. No one is blaming you. Kinjo, do you really think that the boy is a shinobi? When I got near him, I confirmed it. I was not imagining things. Father, a woman called out from below. Bakuryu and Kinjo stood up. Setsuko, Kinjo said. A striking young woman, dressed in a wolf hide, leaped from the ground, landed on a rock, and leaped up again, landing on the precipice where Kinjo was. She had sun-bleached, shoulder-length hair that hadn't known a brush before, cut ruggedly by a sharpened bone. She was 18 years old. Her face was small, and everything in it was cute, especially her nose and lips. Her eyes were brown like wood. Above them were a thick set of eyebrows, not bushy, but thick enough to make her look slightly masculine. Why did you do that? Setsuko said, seething. You know how dangerous it is to go against Yudai and that old man. Are you really that desperate for food? What's happening to you? I'm sorry, Setsuko. Setsuko slumped down on the precipice. Tell me why you did that. I just want to give you a man. Setsuko blushed despite of herself. Be serious, you old wolf. I'm serious. Why do you always keep things from me in spite of my position? Am I the alpha for nothing? If I wasn't there, you could have been beaten up by Sunio Ajisen. Kinjo approached Setsuko and licked her cheek. He curled around her. Bakuryu, sensing that he was not needed there, jumped off from the precipice. Setsuko, if ever I get the chance to go back to my village, will you come with me? Setsuko hugged her knees. I'll come with you, father. But I won't take you. What? She turned around and looked at Kinjo. My world is a fearsome world. No ordinary human can live there for 3 hours. Besides, you had a butt there. Why don't you go back to Sunio? He is a kind man. He took care of you before you chose to go with my pack. I hate that old geezer. He was overprotective. I couldn't breathe in his house. He didn't give me much freedom. Kinjo laughed. The sound bounced repeatedly off the cave walls. But she treated you like his daughter. I know that. But you are the one who saved my life when I was just a baby. I could have died if not for you. Besides, I can do what I want here. Silence. Do you really mean to go back? I have my family waiting for me over there. Setsuko, this place makes me old 5 times faster. Did you see how those birds harassed us as if we were rats? I've weakened. I'm not the same summoned wolf I was. Setsuko thought for a few moments. You are thinking to nab that stranger, because you believe that he can help you. Kinjo looked at her daughter. Yes. I believe that he can summon me back. How will you do it? Sunio Ajisen has taken the stranger with him. His family is strong. We need to use numbers, Setsuko. That's the only way. Why don't you just talk with him? Tell him what you want with the stranger. It's safer. He is not the type of man to give up the life of a human being. But you're not going to hurt the stranger. He won't understand. Setsuko, we don't have a close relationship. He doesn't trust me. But why? You were friends. I don't remember being friends with him. But you were talking with each other. We are acquaintances. That's all. And I owe him for taking care of you. I don't understand. Adult business. It's complicated. Setsuko let some seconds pass before speaking again. Do you really want to go that badly? Yes, Setsuko. Nothing can change your mind? Kinjo put his head against Setsuko's. I'm sorry, Setsuko, but I have to. This is a chance in a lifetime. I may never have the same opportunity again. Setsuko hugged Kinjo's neck. I don't want to lose you. You will not lose me. I'm a summoning beast. Be friends with the person that will summon me back, and if he allows it, you may see me whenever you want. Is that true? Yes. Setsuko kept her face buried in Kinjo's fur for a long time. Then she stood up and went to the edge of the precipice. Bakurio! Come here! Bakuria sat below the precipice. Setsuko-sama. Gather everyone. I want everyone to be here by tomorrow afternoon. Yes, Setsuko-sama. I'm counting on you, Bakuryu. Midori had just finished her routine training. As she walked down the hallway going to the house proper, the wooden butt of her lance, the crescent moon, clucked with every step she made. She was a pearl. Her jet black hair, which reflected the sun, tied in a ponytail, bobbed as she crossed the wide floor of the dojo. She was white like snow, but her skin had a splash of pink, and now, because of the blood that rushed through her veins because of exertion, it was more noticeable. Her hands, even though calloused and overworked, still possessed the tapered shape of feminine gentleness, and she always kept her nails short and clean. She had a tiny waist, and her breasts were full despite her age of only 17 years. Her eyes were a lovely pair of green, flecked with hazel. Her nose had a symmetrical shape, almost as if sculpted, and her lips the reddest of their kind. But the most mesmerizing feature she had was not anything said above. It was the dimples on her cheeks, the area just below the eyes. When she smiled, they appeared and struck every heart with thunder. She met Sunio as the latter turned from the corner going to the porch. She smiled at him, showing her perfect set of white teeth. Hi, Dad. Midori? Finished already? I was just going to watch you train. I skipped the 5th dance. I suddenly got hungry. Eat then. He called out to Saki, Honey! Little Midori is starving. Kill one bear. Daddy? Sunio laughed. I wanted to spar with you a little. Sorry, Dad. I'm already out of the mood. Next time, I guess. Sure. See you later then. Okay. Midori went in the direction of the guest room. Sunio stopped as if remembering something, and then shrugged. Oh well. Must be my imagination. He thought that Midori was going to her room. He forgot that Midori had a silly sense of direction and easily got lost even around the house. The guest room had the same size as her room, so she didn't notice the difference. She looked around for his lance's encasement, and frowned when she didn't find it. My. Hiromi must have hidden it somewhere. That kid. Really? She set down her lance on the floor. Sorry, sis. I'll get you to your bed later. Right now, I'm really starving, she said to her lance. She turned to go, but she noticed the futon in the center of the room. No. I promised to rid myself of this habit. She looked away and stepped out. She couldn't leave. No. You can do it. Determination. She really couldn't. Oh, brother. Okay. But just a little bit. She headed back to the futon and literally dived onto it. She hugged the hump in the blanket, believing that it was just some pillows. It feels so good when I'm in bed. Might as well take a short nap. I don't smell anyway. Don't need to shower. She slid underneath the blanket and hugged whatever was the lump beside her. She huddled her face into it. A minute and a second later, she realized that what was beside her was not a bunch of pillows. She suddenly opened her eyes. It was a man. A man! She screamed so loud the house seemed to tremble. Midori got out of the futon and picked up her lance. You! I'm gonna kill you! She leaped up, twirled the lance over her head, and plunged it down towards Naruto. The blade pierced the air. Die! The blade went through something, but the speed in which that something had appeared made Midori realize it too late. Her blade had grazed Sunio's thigh. He was holding her wrists, and kneeling on his right knee, blood dripping from the wound on his left thigh. He was grinning. That was fast, Midori, Sunio said, and very powerful. Father! Midori! Honey! What are you doing? Saki said, coming in from the door. That's a deep wound, honey. Let's get that cleaned up. Put pressure on it. I'll go get my things. She rushed out of the room. Midori slumped down and burst into tears. I'm sorry, Dad. I didn't mean to. It's natural. I was at fault here. I forgot to tell you about him. But... Stop crying. Snot is coming out your nose. I'm sorry, Dad. Saki came in with her medical kit. Hiromi was with her, carrying a basin of hot water. Saki and Midori carried Sunio to a corner and started cleaning his wound. Sunio explained everything to Midori. Hiromi pulled the blood-stained blanket off Naruto and carried it outside. She soaked it in water and came back to the room to check on Naruto. I didn't mean to, Midori said. It's not your fault, honey, Saki said. After all, your father needs a few scratches every now and then, or he'll forget that he is a fighter. It's more of I'm proud of you rather than reproachful, Sunio said. That was an amazing downward thrust, fast, accurate, and powerful. Midori just nodded, still full of guilt. Sunio knew that Midori would feel that way for a long time, unless she did something in atonement. Okay. If the only way for you to forgive yourself is do something for me, Sunio began, I'll assign you as our guest personal nurse. What? Midori blurted out. But Dad. Saki giggled. That's a good idea. I don't want our Midori to stay the tomboy that she is. I'm not a tomboy, Mom. Then? Sunio cocked one eyebrow. Mom, Midori searched an ally in Saki. Anything but that. My wound. My wound. It's killing me, Sunio said, pretending to writhe in pain. Saki played along. Oh no, your father is dying. Midori's cheeks were burning. Dad. Stop that. Oh. Why must this happen to me? Oh, Sunio said. Honey, you had better agree to it. I don't want to be a widow at 36. All right. I'll do it. Midori cast a sideway glance at Naruto and grimaced. She glared at Sunio. Isn't he a cutie? Saki teased. I won't forget this, Midori said. Midori is cute even when mad, Sunio told Saki. They would make a fine couple, Saki said. Midori slapped Sunio's wounded thigh. Sunio howled in pain. Mom, my daughter is rebelling against me. Mom. Midori stood up. Mom, I'm hungry. I've sliced up a watermelon in the kitchen, Saki said. Hiromi, honey, go and eat some, too. Hiromi set the towel aside. She had been wiping Naruto's face all along. Mom, I'll leave the towel here. Okay. Hiromi smiled at Midori. She held her hand, and they went to the kitchen. Midori furiously gobbled the sweet, pink flesh of the watermelon. Hiromi ate hers with grace across her, the lady between the two. I can't believe them. Why me? Aren't you already taking care of him? Midori said. You take care of him in the afternoon till evening. I'll take the mornings, Hiromi said. Don't make the schedule by yourself. But you train in the morning, right? Even so. Midori went back to eating. Hiromi giggled. But isn't he cute? I think he's not from around here. I don't see a lot of men with that kind of hair in this country. His mom must have been blonde. I don't think so. A woman's blood is weak. I'm sure he got it from his father. Midori chewed and swallowed. How come you know so much about these things? Because I read more than train. Father said that I should be the scholar of the family, while you take on the Akabari's dancing lance style. I only train enough to hit and run. It doesn't change anything. I don't know how to nurse someone. All I know my whole life is how to hold a lance. It's easy, Wani-chan. All you have to do is think of him as me, Mom, or Dad, and everything will come to you. Hiromi stood up and took her plate to the sink. Anyway, all you have to do is watch over him. What do you mean? Are you saying that I must sleep in the same room as him? Yup. Until he wakes up. What? Hey, that's not funny. It's a part of your job, Wani-chan. He needs someone beside him when he wakes up. Your plate, please. Midori handed over her plate. Can we swap over? I mean, I'll tend to him in the morning. That's okay with me. Hiromi began washing the plates. But can you handle changing his clothes and cleaning him? What? So? Damn it. Why is it that all of you are so fixated with him? I can't understand. Dad and Mom are acting suspicious, too. I like him because he is cute. She rinsed the plates and wiped it dry with clean cloth. Did I tell you that Yudai was protecting him from Kinjo? Midori turned around from her seat to face Hiromi. Yudai? Yup. You know Yudai? The eagle? Father and I saved him from Kinjo. Yudai had called his birds to fight against the wolves. He never left Oniai-chan's side. Hiromi smiled. See? Now you're interested. I'm not sure, but I think Father thinks that he is someone special. Yudai must have thought the same, too. That night, while eating dinner, Midori kept her silence as her family bantered with each other. She didn't even feel like listening to them. She stood up from her seat. I'm finished. You're always conscious of your weight, Midori. Are you doing this so that our guest, Sunio, caught something going for his left eye? It was a chopstick. Whoa! Mom, our daughter is trying to kill me. Hiromi suppressed a giggle. Saki said, That's not nice, Midori. Apologize to your father. And you, honey, stop teasing Midori. Sunio put the chopstick down and resumed eating the rice from his bowl. Okay. My bad. But what about the apology? Saki looked at her daughter. Midori? Midori looked down. As sorry, Dad? Sunio pretended to be irritated. Your sorry won't bring back my appetite. Man, the rice has turned bland. He suppressed a smirk. Maybe a kiss on the cheek would, wow. Saki was pinching his side. That's enough, honey. Stop treating her like a child. All right. You're forgiven. Sunio glanced up at Midori. But be sure to take good care of our guest, Midori. That seriousness caught Midori off guard. She looked away. I can't promise that, Dad. I'm not good at these kinds of things. Just promise me that you'll not hurt him, at least. That's all I'm asking. Is that all right? Midori glanced at Sunio. Sunio's stare was piercing. I'll try. Good. Sunio resumed eating. Excuse me, Midori said and left. When she was in the hallway, she heard Sunio and Hiromi burst out laughing. You see how she blushed when I told her about our guest? Sunio said. A vein throbbed on Midori's temple. Geez! She muttered, clenching her fist. She walked with heavy feet towards the guest room. Midori stood in the doorway, staring at the face above the hem of the blanket. His face was serene. What should I do? Watch over? How should I watch over you? She tentatively made a step forward, being careful not to make any noise. When he didn't move, she closed the door and went on. She folded her knees and sat on her calves beside his futon. Her heart was beating fast. Her face was burning. She gulped. You are indeed better looking than most men I've seen before, she muttered. She caught sight of a glowing thing inside his shirt. Intrigued, she pulled at the string around his neck. The glow came from the crystal amulet. She leaned over to have a better look, not noticing that she was closing the distance between their faces. The sparkling dust inside the crystal intoxicated her. Their faces were near enough to kiss now. She could feel his warm, feather-light breath on her face, but she was oblivious to it. The crystal had taken all her attention. Sakura? Began the weak voice. Sakura, is that you? Midori jumped, taking with her the amulet, pulling the necklace from his neck. His clear blue eyes were staring at her. She gasped. They were prettier than the amulet, gems the color of the sky. She finally noticed that the crystal was in her hand. She put it back frantically. I'm sorry. I'll call. She turned to go. Naruto caught her hand. Please stay by my side. Huh? I mean. Please. Midori stared into those blue gems again. In all honesty, she didn't feel any hostile intention from him. She was just imagining it. Please, Naruto repeated, and forced a smile. Oh, okay. I'll not leave then. She felt him squeeze her hand, and she had to stifle a gasp. He didn't let go. He closed his eyes and went back to sleep. She looked at their entwined hands and said to herself, Who is this man? How could he make me relax so easily? We're stranger to each other, and I'm not used to being with a man alone in a room, but why am I not intimidated? Who is he? Even after strength had already left his hand, and she felt it let go, she kept on holding him. Hiromi hummed a tune as she walked down the hallway in the direction of the guest room. Midori hadn't gotten up yet. It was unusual. Midori always woke up early to start her training. She was strict with herself, and she only missed a day when she was sick. When Hiromi slid open the door to the guest room, she gaped at what she arrived on. Midori had lain her head on the stranger's chest and was softly snoring. She was also holding the man's hand. Hiromi was secretly pleased. She stepped into the room. Midori heard the light thuds made by Hiromi and drowsily looked up at her. Good morning, Wani-chan, Hiromi said, smiling. I see that you have had a hot night. Midori's eyes widened and realized that she was still holding Naruto's hand. She pulled her hand from his and wiped it on her robe as if disgusted by his touch. Hi, sis. Morning. How was your night, Wani-chan? Oh, yes. He woke up last night. He talked to me. He talked about a Sakura or something. I didn't hear it well, but it's not important. What's important is he woke up. You seem to be quite excited. Hiromi smiled meaningfully. Midori stood up, stepped forward, and took hold of Hiromi's cheeks. Why do you have to tease me so early in the morning? Okay. Maybe I'm excited. But it's over the fact that I will no longer take care of him when he wakes up. My cheeks, my cheeks. Midori let go of her. Geez, One-chan. Were you trying to tear up my cheeks? You deserve it. Humph. She walked to the door. I'll leave everything to you, now. I haven't had enough sleep, so I think I'll take a nap for a couple of hours. Did he open his eyes or he just talked? Midori remembered his blue eyes and blushed. He just talked, she lied. Later. That's sleep talking then. She said he had woken up. One-chan, you liar. But Midori was already gone and didn't hear Hiromi's rumblings. Midori had just managed to sleep for 1 hour. The stranger had kept on intruding her dreams, so she had woken up many times from her slumber. She took a bath and then went to the dojo to train. She felt sick in the head, but she still continued with her routines. From a distance, Sunio watched her and noticed her rough movements. She was obviously distracted by something. Sunio approached and leaned against the edge of the door jamb, crossing his arms and pretending to be engaged in watching her. Midori didn't notice his presence. Sunio stayed quiet until Midori tripped and slammed on the floor. Her lance slid away from her hand. He let a smirk out his mouth. Father? She hurriedly stood up. What are you doing here? I was watching. I haven't expected to see something entertaining. Nice exhibition. I just lost my balance. It was an accident. You are distracted. A martial artist never trips accidentally. You can't expect to be perfect all the time. Sunio grinned. Is this about our guest? Did something happen that I don't know? Midori looked away. She tried to answer, but chose to fetch her lance from the floor. Midori, I'll tell you the truth. That boy is a shinobi. What? Sunio pulled a blue forehead protector from his sleeve. I got this from him. Midori took the forehead protector from her father and inspected it. What does this inscription stand for, Dad? That's the symbol of one of the strongest hidden villages in history, Konoha. Konoha? He's a ninja of Konoha? He is if that forehead protector is really his. How did he get washed up here? Is Konoha near our country? It's far from here. Almost 2 countries away. I've only read it from a book somewhere. I've never been there before. Moreover, they are called hidden villages because they're not easy to find. Midori stared at the forehead protector. The steel plate glinted under the morning light. You don't have to tell me what he is. He won't stay long anyway. It's better if you know. So tell me, how is he for you? What how is he? You know, what did you feel while you were with him? I know you have a knack at these things. Your intuition about people is always right. He saw how Midori blushed. All right. I understand. He smiled and turned around. By the way, Hiromi told me that he had woken up last night. Is that true? Yes, Dad. He was talking about a sakura. I'm not sure if he was pertaining to a tree or a person. The next thing he said only grazed my ears. That's good to hear. And Midori? Yes, Dad. Skip training today. It's not advisable to train if your mind is somewhere else. Take this day to rest. Sunio was about to reach the doorway when she thought to ask him something. Dad, are shinobi strong? Sunio stopped and caressed his chin with his thumb. They are. Why are you asking? Nothing. I'm just curious. As he watched the blue sky above, Sunio sighed. Now it was clear to him why Kinjo was interested in the boy. Kinjo wanted to summon himself back to where he came from. Sunio smelled the scent of an imminent battle. But he would never go back on his words. No matter if he was wrong or right. He would never surrender the boy to Kinjo. The breaths of the wolves mingled with the cold air as plumes of vapor, vibrations of snarls audible as the wind passed through their throat. They were inching forward to the lone house in the center of the bamboo forest. Setsuko gripped her spear more tightly beside her. The moon had just risen in the sky. Won't you talk with him first, father? Setsuko asked. All right. I'll ask him once. Bakuryu, if need be, deactivate the seal. What? You plan to deactivate your seals? Father, we outnumber them. Why do you need to go that far? They are few, but they are strong, especially Sunio and Saki. We don't have a choice. Sunio was smoking his pipe in the kitchen when he felt their presence. Saki, who was washing the dishes, felt them too. Hiromi and Midori were in the guest room. Honey, I think we have visitors, Sunio said. His eyes turned into sharp slits, a killer's eyes. Saki's eyes became colorless, too. They must be here for our guest. Tell Midori to prepare. You take care of Hiromi and the boy. With a smiling face, Sunio stood up and went to the front gate. Kinjo went out from the bamboo forest. He saw Sunio. You know why I'm here. Just hand him over to us, Sunio, and I promise you that we will leave your family alone. Sunio looked around. I see that you've brought your entire family. The eyes of the wolves glowed as if in greeting. You know the answer to that, Kinjo. Then I have no choice. The wolves showed themselves, fierce and hungry, fangs bared and dripping with saliva. I thought I could talk it out with you. Sunio slipped his upper body out of his robe. His upper body was made up of lean muscles. He raised his arms in front of him and clenched them. The muscles around his body tightened and became more pronounced, more threatening. The innumerable scars on his skin told a history of wars and of love affairs with blades and arrows of all kinds. This man had been in hell. Bakuryu, Setsuko. I'll take care of him. You go and get the boy, Kinjo said. Bakuryu and Setsuko stepped forward, but to their surprise, two Sunios appeared in front of them. Where are you supposed to go? The Sunio in front of Setsuko asked. Do you think I will just stand there? The Sunio in front of Bakuryu said. No, no! Setsuko! Bakuryu! Kinjo cried. Meteor fist! Both Sunios sent a full-power right straight towards Setsuko and Bakuryu. The fist seemed to suck in the air around them like a low-pressure area, and when they finally reached their final destination, a pulse of wind erupted and destroyed everything in its path. The bamboo in the pulse's path either cracked at its trunk or was uprooted. The rocks exploded as if bombed. The earth was turned into a ditch. Some of the wolves ran away, yelping in fear. The Sunio, who had been in front of Setsuko, turned to smoke. The remaining disappeared and reappeared at the front gate, arms crossed, lips curled into an impressed smile. Well, well, well. That was fast, Kinjo. Kinjo put Setsuko and Bakuryu on the ground. He had used his mouth to save them. But the Kinjo now was not the Kinjo earlier. He had grown big, 5 times larger than before. He had a green armor around his chest and leg guards on all 4. A necklace of fangs that had a wolf's skull as the center ornament hung around his neck. His left ear had a golden earring on it. So, you're finally going all out, Sunio said. Good. I'm rusting and I need some oil on my joints. Were you really planning to kill Setsuko? Kinjo's voice was now deeper and more powerful. No. If I was really planning to do that, no amount of speed could have saved them. I was waiting for you. I'm relieved. Then, let's start. Kinjo disappeared. Saki, take the children away. Midori, take care of Setsuko, Sunio said. Kinjo appeared 15 meters above. Sound release, sonic fangs. He shot out a single ha from his mouth towards Sunio. The speed of that bulk of shockwaves was more than 3,000 meters a second, and it reached the ground in no time. The impact pulverized the solid ground and crushed the wall of the dojo and the fence. You cannot escape from me. Kinjo disappeared again. I'm not planning to do that. Sunio sucked in air until his chest inflated bigger than a normal human could. His eyes trailed Kinjo's movements, and they moved as if tracking a restless fly. Got you! Sound release, sonic fangs! Kinjo cried. The bulk of shockwave cruised towards Sunio. Sunio pushed the air out of his lungs. The two masses of compressed shockwaves and air collided, causing a strong wind that howled as it pushed everything away. Kinjo dashed forward. Sunio put his hands together at his right hip as if holding a ball there. Now come, old friend. Kinjo opened his mouth. It would be a direct, close-range hit. He was face to face with Sunio. Ha! Sunio raised his hands and thrust them forward in Kinjo's direction. But Kinjo's attack was faster. The bulk of shockwaves hit Sunio. Fortunately, he had decreased the force of Kinjo's attack with his forward thrust. Kinjo's attack plowed him through the dojo wall. The friction it had produced against his body made his skin sustain a first-degree burn. His body smoked. Kinjo padded into the dojo. Is that all you got? Sunio was grinning. As I thought, I would never defeat you with only taijutsu. It has been 26 years ever since you spoke anything about shinobi art to me. Do you still remember? This is not the place and time to reminisce about the past. Sunio assumed a low stance. He put his left hand in front of him and his right fist at his hip. Let's finish this. As you wish. Saki was leaping from tree to tree. She had Hiromi under one arm and Naruto under the other. The bamboo forest was already way behind her. Bakuryu and Kyujo chased after her. The forest of gigantic trees stood in darkness, but somehow she could see her way through. She had worn her black operation attire, body vest, arm and shin guards, and an injato, dagger katana, on her back. "Mom, why is Kinjo attacking us?" Hiromi asked. "Don't talk. You'll bite your tongue." Suddenly, she felt something hitting her left shoulder. Her left arm instantly went numb, and she dropped Naruto. "Mom! Oni-chan is falling." "Shit." Saki changed direction. She propelled towards the tree in front of her and ran down against its trunk. Naruto was falling fast. Little by little she caught up with him. "Mom! I can see Oni-chan," Hiromi said. "Okay." Saki kicked against the tree to propel herself towards Naruto. She was about to grab him when a shadow passed in front of her. All of a sudden Naruto was gone. Saki put her feet against the tree she was about to bump into. She stood there horizontally, searching the surrounding. She walked onto a branch and put Hiromi down. The culprit stood 4 trees away from her. It was Kyujo. He had Naruto between his teeth. His appearance had changed. From the skinny wolf he had been, he was now 5 times larger. He was wearing an open shirt with torn edges and 5 silver earrings on each ear. A skull of a hawk hung on a necklace around his thick neck. "Hiromi," she said, "stay here." Blood ran out of Kyujo's nose. "Kyujo, escape with the boy," Bakuryu cried. But he was too late. Kyujo reeled and lost his balance. He fell from the branch, his mouth losing grip of Naruto. Bakuryu deactivated his seal. As he leaped up towards Kyujo, smoke surrounded him, and he became 6 times larger and very muscular, a muscle-type wolf warrior. He caught Kyujo by the scruff of his neck and laid him down on the ground. Saki caught Naruto in midair. "Kyujo, get a grip of yourself. We're out of here." Bakuryu leaped up towards Hiromi. Saki was horrified when she saw Bakuryu grabbed Hiromi between his teeth and ran off. "Hiromi! Mom!" Hiromi cried. "Help me!" Naruto heard her voice. His heart beat strongly in his chest. Saki put Naruto down and went after Bakuryu. "Hiromi!" Kyujo shook his head and ran after Saki. When he was near her, he used all his might and leaped. Below, Naruto disappeared from where he was. A circle of dust whirled in his place, an evidence of immense speed. Kyujo opened his mouth. Saki was oblivious to the impending danger. All she cared about was to reach Hiromi. Kyujo was only inches away. Nearing. 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 "Hiromi!" Saki cried, and then felt the killing intent behind her. She turned her head around and saw the murderous glare of the big wolf. Her eyes grew wide. "Mum!" Hiromi shrieked. Arms enfolded Saki, warm and reassuring. Instantly, her fear disappeared. Then she was off into the air. The world whirled around her. Hammer of Justice! Naruto ended his seemingly never-ending somersault with a knee onto the head of Kyujo. Kyujo crashed to the ground. Naruto perched on a branch of a tree carrying Saki in his arms. "Are you okay? Nothing hurts?" Naruto asked. He gently swept the hair away from her face and searched for any sign of pain in her expression. Saki shook her head in his hands. "Mum!" Hiromi's voice woke her up. "My daughter! The other wolf snatched my daughter. Please help her." "Are you sure you're okay?" Naruto asked. Yes. Please, they're getting away." "Are you really sure?" Saki looked at him, and then nodded. When Naruto still seemed to wait for something, she kissed him. Naruto was surprised. He frowned. "I'm serious. The wolf had shot you with invisible needles. I'm not sure what they were. They could be poison." "No. I'm okay. Nothing hurts," she said. "I'm fine. Please. Save my daughter." "Okay." With that he disappeared like the wind. There was something wrong with the gait of the wolf in front of him. The wolf seemed to be in pain and was just forcing itself to get away. He was thinking this when Kyujo suddenly appeared in front of him and shot him a rain of needles. He hastily changed direction. An anaconda crawling on the ground received the needles and instantly fainted. Kyujo growled at him. "That was a powerful attack. If I was not in this form, I could have died," Kyujo said. "Anyway, I'm not letting you off. The girl is ours. The woman you saved earlier can no longer stand up. I'm sure I hit her legs. It's better if you go back to her now before the poison. With that many needles, even a large anaconda will die instantly if those needles really contain lethal poison. I can still feel the life from the anaconda below. They only contain paralyzing poison. Kyujo tried to laugh, but hacked out blood instead. You're no ordinary shinobi. What is your rank? I'm still a genin. You're a summoned beast, aren't you? Yes. The wolf that kidnapped the kid is also a summoned beast. Don't worry, we will not hurt her. Like I believe you. Naruto jumped off past Kyujo. Kyujo caught up and shot a barrage of needles at him. Naruto quickly went away from the line of the attack. He ran down a branch and stopped in front of Kyujo. He leaped towards Kyujo and formed a Rasengan in each hand. Rasengan! He thrust the balls of chakra at Kyujo. However, what he hit was just an afterimage. Kyujo appeared to his right and attempted to bite his side. Naruto tried to hit Kyujo with his Rasengan. It connected, but Kyujo turned into smoke. A shadow clone. Tornado fangs. Naruto instantly turned in the direction of the sound only to see a small tornado aiming for him. He was too late to dodge. He formed hand seals as he went crashing towards the ground. There was an explosion of dust. Kyujo multiplied into 3 separate wolves. They jumped from the branches they were perched on and spun around to form 3 tornadoes. The 2 tornadoes at the side joined the one at the center, increasing the destructive power and speed of the attack. The resulting giant tornado aimed at Naruto. Typhoon fangs. The explosion was audible. It reached Bakuryu. It reached Saki. Both suddenly felt alarmed. The dust the impact had raised moved slowly above the ground, around the trees, and between the grasses. Kyujo stood panting a few meters from the rim of the crater his attack had created. He padded to it and looked down to have a look at his victim in the center of the crater. There he was, lifeless. Kyujo coughed up blood, reeled, but managed to maintain his stance. I'm at my limit. The seal has been deactivated for 7 minutes already. He smirked. I don't have much time to live. I can tell that you're still alive. Come out. I don't care if you kill me. I've already done my job. I'm sure Bakuryu has reached our lair. The Naruto at the center of the crater turned into a log. The real Naruto burrowed out of the ground, spinning. He had been aiming for Kyujo's chest, but decided to change path. He stood next to the large wolf. Upon meeting his eyes, Kyujo's legs gave in. He fell on his side. His breath was short. Are you working for a ninja? Naruto asked. Since I'm dying, I might as well tell you. The answer is no. He coughed up blood. What? Our masters were killed in the war a long time ago. We have lived here for 26 years as ordinary wolves. So that's the reason you don't disappear back to your world even if you're on the verge of death. I get it. Naruto approached Kyujo. May I have some of your blood? What are you going to do? I'm going to bring you home. Kyujo was surprised. Beads of tears sprouted from the corners of his eyes. You are going to do that? Despite what I did to your friends? Yes. Please. Kyujo offered his paw so that Naruto could draw out blood directly from his vein. Naruto cut the pad of his paw with a quick flick of his thumb. He dipped his thumb on the pool of blood that materialized on Kyujo's paw. He dragged his thumb over his palm. Then he formed the seal of tiger and summoned the contract scroll for sacred beasts, wolves. The scroll, it was larger than him, appeared. He laid it down. The paper was divided into columns. Do you accept me as your new master and serve under me one-sidedly? Naruto asked. Yes. What is your name? I'm Kyujo. Naruto searched for Kyujo among the columns. Once he found it, he bit his thumb and written Uzumaki Naruto in the column under the wolf's name. He pressed his left thumb that had Kyujo's blood and his right thumb with his blood underneath his name. The contract is finished. Kyujo couldn't contain his gratitude. Thank you very much. What is your name, master? Uzumaki Naruto. There was a hint of smile on Kyujo's lips before he disappeared into smoke. Naruto rolled the scroll and unsummoned it. Uzumaki Naruto. Is that my name? What is this feeling that's telling me that I've forgotten quite a large deal about my life? He muttered. He shook his head. There were more important things at hand. He went back to where he had left Saki. Saki was trying to move her legs when he arrived. She looked up. Where is my daughter? I couldn't catch up. What? What's happened? The other wolf hindered me. He suddenly swept Saki up. Let's go to your house first. Saki struggled. Put me down. My daughter is in danger. Do you think I will just accept it and go home? Trust me. They're not planning to hurt her. What are you talking about? They kidnapped my daughter. Are you that dumb to miss the message? Naruto stared at Saki. Saki glared at him. Would you please calm down? I will never calm down until you let me go. Naruto thought for a while. He was still staring at Saki. I don't know where this place is, but you seem to have a strange way of things here. He leaned forward. What do you think you're? Naruto kissed her. Saki blinked at him. Calm down, he said. No, no. She still struggled. Put me down this instant. You mean one kiss is not enough? Are you an idiot? Naruto leaned forward. Okay. Okay. I understand. I get the message. But remember this. If something happens to my daughter, I'll kill you. Naruto said nothing will happen to her. I promise. Now, hold on to me tightly. Saki did as told, and they were off. Why are you so sure? Saki said after they had cleared a few trees. First thing, you're still alive. Second, those wolves have no master. He let a few moments pass. Sorry, I kissed you. I thought it was some kind of act here to tell someone to calm down, since you had kissed me when I was worrying over you. It's okay. Have you been taking care of me? Yes. My daughter found you yesterday. The river had brought you here. Thank you, he said. What is your name? I'm Saki. You live here alone with your daughter? I have another daughter and a husband. Eh? Naruto blanched. Sweat sprouted from his forehead. He gulped. You have a husband. Yes, and I'll tell him about what happened between us. Naruto stopped at a branch of a tree and set Saki down. Please, Saki-san. Please, let it be just a secret between us. Humph. You kissed me and I'll tell. What do you like me to do to forgive me? Nothing. I'll tell my honey. I'm already decided. I will do anything for you. Anything. Anything? Yes, yes. Really? Saki looked at him, slyly. You'll do anything? Yes. Please don't tell your husband. Okay. First, save Hiromi. Second, make Midori fall in love with you. Eh? Make who is Midori? My eldest. If you can't do that, then I'll tell. What do you think? Saki smiled, triumphantly. Naruto crossed his arms and turned away, thinking. His temples were crying sweat. Saki found this funny and giggled. So? Saki prodded on. What is your answer? I'll try. It's yes or no. There's no try. Naruto glanced at her from the corner of his eye. When he saw her, he knew that he already lost to her. Oh, okay. I think you'll not give me any choice. Saki smiled. Then it's a deal. She tried to stand up on her feet. She succeeded. I think the poison has already lost its effect. Naruto approached her and held her arms. He was a head taller than her. Take it easy, Saki-san. Don't force yourself. Saki looked in his eyes. They were blue like a pair of spherical sapphires. She found herself being drawn to them. She put her hands on his shoulders. Saki-san? I'm sorry I had to do this. She pulled his face and kissed him. She intruded him with her tongue. Naruto's knees jerked forward. Every time Saki hit a sensitive spot in his mouth, he would twitch. She whirled him towards the trunk of the tree and pushed him there, becoming more forceful. She thrust her mouth into his mouth, hungry, longing. She began to moan. Drool began flowing out from Naruto's mouth, a sign of inexperience. Saki grabbed Naruto's wrists and put his hands over her breasts. This time, Naruto realized that what was happening was dangerous. He mustered his courage and pushed Saki away. Saki's eyes gleamed in mischief. She licked her lips. So, you're inexperienced, she said, smiling. Why did you do that? Naruto's cheeks were blushing, but his lips were pale. I felt like doing it. You're attractive. Didn't you like it? He gulped. Thank you, if that's what you mean. Since you're sure that Hiromi is safe, and this is maybe my last chance of doing this little infidelity, why don't we have another go? Saki put her arms around his neck. This time, let's do it all the way. No! Saki-san, we should not do this. I'll do our deal, but this is unfair to your husband. Please stop. Saki seemed to realize what was happening with her, but she didn't let go of him. She had missed this vigor of her heart, the warm blood rushing in her veins, the heat in her womanhood, and the sticky sweat on her skin. "Okay," she said. "Okay, I give up. But will you kiss me one last time?" "Huh? Do you have a girlfriend?" "No. I don't have a girlfriend. I don't remember having one." "Then no one will get angry." "No one will get angry? How about your husband?" "This will be the last. I'll tell on you if you don't do this." "What?" "Think of this as doing a mighty favor for a woman in need of love. Will you do that for me?" Naruto didn't know if what Saki was asking of him was right or wrong. However, he was sure that Saki would not let go if he didn't give in. He thought of someone that he would freely give a kiss to. Faces went past his mind's eye until he spotted a face of someone familiar. A cute girl with pink hair and mint green eyes was smiling at him. He didn't recognize who she was, but he felt that he would do anything for her. He looked at Saki and imagined the face of the girl. He slowly leaned over, and then their lips touched. Saki felt the current flowing from his mouth into hers. His kiss was imbued with sincere feelings. She almost believed that he loved her. But she knew he was thinking of someone other than her. Anyway, she was glad she had asked for it. This was one of the happiest moments of her life. "I love you," Naruto muttered. Saki blinked, blushed, and searched his eyes. "Huh?" Naruto backed away from her. Sorry, I didn't mean it." Saki observed him for a while, and then she laughed. "Yeah. Of course you didn't. Now tell me your name." He gave her the name he remembered to be his, Uzumaki Naruto. The dojo was gone, turned into debris of rocks, silt, and wood. The other wolves were gone, too, knowing that they would die if they stayed. Midori fought with her lance against Setsuko's twin kukri blades. They were equal in everything, only that Midori had grace and elegance of movements while Setsuko had instinctive, almost wild style. It had already been 12 minutes since Kinjo deactivated his seal. He was only being courageous, but he knew that his internal organs were giving up one by one. He could feel blood gurgling in his throat. However, he dared not to let it out his mouth in front of Sunio. The last thing he wanted from his opponent was pity. Sunio, on the other hand, was enjoying the fight. Kinjo was really a formidable opponent, and he hadn't had anyone as him to fight against for a long time. Kinjo could match his inhuman speed, counter his attacks, and null his tactics. One slip could mean defeat. They were only the ones who could see each other. To an observer's eye, all of their movements were as good as a roguish wind, hitting one direction in a moment, and then turning towards another in the blink of an eye. That was how the dojo and most of the house proper had gotten destroyed. It was as if a sorcerer was at work, bit by bit making a chunk disappear. Eventually, they pushed themselves away from each other. Sunio had a few scratches while Kinjo had a bloody fur. Kinjo couldn't suppress it anymore. He coughed up blood. Sunio didn't miss this. "That was a damn good punch, Sunio. I'd give you that," Kinjo said. "You know damn well that I haven't landed a clean hit on you, you old dog." He frowned. "Now I lost my appetite. Go back to your forest, recuperate, and try again. If you'll get soft on me, I'll not hold back anymore." "You've been holding back?" Sunio chuckled. "Well, I've been too." "Good. For the second time, let's finish this." "I'd be happy to." They dashed towards each other. Suddenly, pain surged from Kinjo's heart, and he nearly fell. He struggled to keep his balance and went on. He tried desperately to hide the pain from Sunio. He somehow succeeded because Sunio was still going full force. Kinjo smiled. He knew one way or the other that he would die. He was supposed to deactivate his seal for only 2 minutes, the safe limit. 5 minutes could already kill him. But he had been fighting with his true form for over 12 minutes now. He chose the other hell, dying in the hands of a warrior. At least, that way, he could have dignity and honor until his last breath. He put more speed in his gait, and opened his mouth. As he was about to collide with Sunio, his vision blurred, and the next thing he saw was Sunio's fist. His teeth clicked as the punch on his forehead connected. He got pushed on the ground. He lost control over the seal and reverted back to being an ordinary wolf. His good eye trembled as he looked up at Sunio. He managed a painful smirk. "I lost," Kinjo said. "You're still strong." "I couldn't pull my fist back. I told you I was serious. In a death match, one is supposed to lose and die. You're stronger. I acknowledge that." "Father!" Setsuko cried. "Shit!" She blocked Midori's lance with her blades, and then, when she found a chance, she sprinted away into the bamboo forest. I'm sorry. Father beads of tears spilled out her eyes as she ran as fast as she could. If I'm already incapable of continuing, you escape, Setsuko, Kinjo had told her in their briefing. But why? I'll never leave you. If you die with me, my soul will never know peace. Please, treat this as doing an important favor for me. I'll avenge you, father. I'll take revenge on them. The sharp twigs of the bamboo didn't slow her even for a little. A twig slashed her smooth face. Blood sprang out. It stung, but she didn't care. You have to kill me now, Kinjo said in the loudest voice he could manage. It buzzed like a fly in a bottle amidst the continuous flow of blood out his mouth. I will die eventually, but I want to die in your hands. Sunio looked at the pitiful wolf. The time seemed to stop around him. He was hesitating. What are you waiting for? I'll do the honor then, Sunio finally said. Do not apologize. Kinjo looked at Sunio. Don't add shame on my name by apologizing. As you wish. Sunio sipped in air, and it hissed through his teeth. A painful sound. The sound of regret. I'm sorry. Sunio composed himself, and launched the final blow. It could have crushed Kinjo's skull if it connected, but Kinjo disappeared. He looked to his left, and saw Naruto setting down Kinjo on the ground. Just in time, kid, he said. Naruto didn't waste time. He reached out for Kinjo's paw and cut its pad. He repeated the process. He asked Kinjo's name, wrote his own name on the scroll, and sealed the contract with his blood and Kinjo's. I'll repay you once I've healed my wounds, Kinjo said. Naruto grinned. What repay? You'll serve me. Thank you, master. Kinjo turned into smoke. Naruto stood up and approached Sunio. Midori blocked his way, glaring at him. She trained her blade at his throat. Stop right there, Midori said. Or. Naruto walked through the blade and faded like a ghost. He was suddenly behind Midori and nearing Sunio. Midori turned her head to him, perplexed. I assume that you two are Nin. Sunio covered his mouth with one hand. Shush. Not here. He jerked his head to tell him that he didn't want Midori to know. Naruto frowned. Let's talk later. I expect that you had a good reason for almost doing that, Naruto said. Sunio just smiled. Naruto looked behind him at Midori. He squinted and looked her up and down. What are you looking at? Midori asked. Naruto turned back to Sunio. She's your daughter? Sunio grinned. Yup. She doesn't look like you. Many say that. She takes after her mother. Naruto squinted at Saki. Saki smiled mischievously at him. He cringed. She doesn't look like her mother either. Sunio put his right arm around Naruto's neck and laughed out loud. He hunkered down, pulling Naruto with him, their backs on Midori. It's a long story. We are keeping a lot of secrets from both of them, from Midori and Hiromi. He smiled. But you're sharp, kid. By the way, did the other wolves get Hiromi? One did. I summoned the other one back to his world. So that's what happened. He sighed. Anyway, we don't want Midori to know that I and Saki are ninjas. For them, we are fighters. What's the difference, then? Besides, Hiromi-chan has already seen her mother do some crazy moves in the forest. They've already seen us do some crazy moves before. Fighters can do that. Off Naruto's disbelief, he added, Look, did Saki use any ninjutsu that you were aware of? No, right? I asked her. She said no. Suspicious. Okay. Listen. Midori knows about ninjas. If she knew we were ninjas, who could have summoned Kinjo back to his world, she would blame us for this mess. Do you understand now? It's still suspicious. You're just covering your asses. You know what's your name? Naruto. You know, Naruto-kun, what I am covering right now is just the surface. We wouldn't have kept this secret for a long time if we were just afraid that one day our girls would know about it and hate us. Besides, this is just a little favor I'm asking you. I'm still not convinced, but if you put it that way. Thank you. Now. What are you whispering about? Midori asked. Sunio turned his head to Midori. Nothing, dear, just a little boy's talk. To Naruto, he said, I'm counting on you on this. Okay. They stood up. Sunio patted Naruto's shoulder. Cooperation, okay? Midori asked, Mom, where's Hiromi? They took her, Saki said. What? It's my fault, Naruto said. Midori frowned at him. You. I couldn't save her, but I'm sure they won't hurt her. Don't treat this as if it's some kind of a joke. Calm down, Midori, Saki said. How am I supposed to calm down? Hiromi, Midori fainted. Sunio caught her from behind. He had hit her neck with a chop. Sunio looked at Saki, and then at Naruto. Better if she rested. We're not really a real family, Sunio began. They were alone at the well. Saki was inside the storage room with Midori. Sunio was smoking his pipe, while Naruto leaned on the bucket support. It's better that you know since Saki already did something idiotic. What do you mean you're not a real family? Saki and I are not husband and wife. Hiromi and Midori are siblings, but they are not our children. My real family was murdered in the war. Saki is my subordinate. Then my assumption is correct. You're ninjas, right? Yes. We're ninjas who have been on a single mission ever since. That's all that I can tell you. If you really are, then why didn't you help the wolves? It's a long story. Kinjo killed his brother, Saki said, approaching with a tray of 3 cups and a pitcher of tea. Here's some tea. Saki-san, Naruto blurted out. Shush. We're just 3 yards from Midori. It would be bad if she woke up. She set the tray down and poured tea in each cup. Sunio picked up a cup and smiled. Saki will tell you the rest. He left. He doesn't want to remember if possible, Saki said to break the silence. So, aside from anything about our mission, I can tell you anything. Where do you want me to start? How old are you? Saki suppressed a smirk. There were more important things beside that. What do you think? 26? Saki laughed. You think that I'm that young? You mean you're old? Of course not. Guess again. 30. Wrong. Come on. Tell me. She giggled. I don't want to. Girls hate questions about weight and age. Naruto sipped some tea. That was my first adult kiss. He felt a tug at his heart. Oh, you can kiss me anytime you want. I won't do that, Saki-san. It's just that I'd hate it if someone too old to be my mother gave me my first adult kiss. Now, he remembered Shizen's face. He didn't understand why it came up. He shook his head. He didn't remember who Shizen was. Your honesty is a bit insulting, you know that? Age doesn't matter. I'm not that old anyway. How long have you been together with Sunio-san? Hate to think of us being together? No. I'm serious. Let me think. Maybe, ever since I was 16. He was my sensei. What village did you come from? That's confidential. You're from Konoha, right? Konoha? Yes. I think Honey gave your forehead protector to Midori. The emblem on it signifies Konoha. The name is familiar to me, but I don't remember it exactly. Saki frowned. How come? You remember your name? I do, but I'm not sure if it's really mine. That's the first thing that comes to my mind when I'm asked about my name, but I'm not sure if it really is. You mean you don't remember where you came from? Naruto looked at her. He shook his head. You have some form of amnesia. Maybe it was from shock. What do you remember? Some things make sense, like when Kyujo-san asked me what my rank was. From that, I remembered that I was a shinobi. I can also perfectly recall everything about being one. But some things are fuzzy. I do remember faces, but I don't remember who they belong to or what they mean to me. Saki sipped from her cup. This is troublesome. Honey told me that you woke up once and mentioned Sakura. Actually, it was Midori who heard you. What does the name mean to you? Sakura? Naruto was quiet for a while. Then he shook his head. I don't recall anyone by that name. Try harder. Naruto did. It was a good, full minute, and then he sighed. Nothing is coming. Saki glanced at Naruto. He seemed troubled, and she had to look away to forget about lunging at him and hugging him. It will come in time. You can't remember the names of your summons, I assume. I don't. Saki sighed. It would have been easier if you did. For a time they were quiet. Suddenly, Naruto laughed. It surprised her. What's so funny? Nothing will come out from worrying. At least I didn't die, right? Besides, I like adventures. This also means that I will be able to meet new faces and have plenty of opportunities to get stronger. Saki smiled at him, showing her beautiful, pearly white teeth that faintly reflected the moon. You're pretty optimistic about your situation. You should be crying right now. Nah. It will only waste my energy. Anyway, you keep calling Sunio-san honey. What's the real deal? Saki laughed. It seemed to her that Naruto was really affected by the kiss. He is too old for me. Too old? What do you mean? How old is he? He's 56. What? Naruto was totally shocked. He only looks 30-something to me. Does it mean you're in your 40s already? Thump. Ow. Humph. One more comment like that and I'll kill you. I'm only 36. She caught herself. Shit. Anyway, I call him honey out of habit. We have been in cover for over 17 years. It became a natural thing between us. Really? You're already 36? Naruto looked at her closely. You don't look like one. You look so young. Of course. I take care of myself. Are you sure there's nothing happening between you two? What's that supposed to mean? I'm just curious. You sound as if you're trying to find a clear path towards me. Is that kiss bothering you that much? Naruto straightened. No. Of course, not. I'm getting a little uneasy with your questions, Naruto-kun. She breathed in air. Remember what I told you back in the forest? Yes. All of it is true. Let's close this topic and go on to the next. Naruto considered for a while. How come the two girls don't suspect you? I mean, how do you do that? In front of them, we are a couple. It's that simple. We've become a natural being one. Unnecessarily, she added, but I swear that that's the end of it. When the girls sleep, we're back at being partners. Nothing more. I didn't ask for you to elaborate too much. You asked? You know, let's forget this. It seems you really don't want to know anything. She began to get up. When I saved Kinjo-san earlier, Sunio-san seemed relieved. Had they, by any chance, been friends? Saki thought if she should leave, but her good nature prevented her. They were. Kinjo was the summon of Sunio's brother. 26 years ago, in the war between Kajiwara and Nu, we are in Nu, by the way, Kinjo bit Tamatsu to death. Tamatsu? Yes. He was Honey's older brother. I still don't know why Kinjo did that, but I know he had a reason. Anyway, Honey witnessed that incident, and he never forgave Kinjo. Honey was so mad that he put a curse seal on himself, forbidding him to summon beasts forever. He can do that? He already did. How come he didn't kill Kinjo-san? He thought that it would be too easy for Kinjo. All he did was to make sure Kinjo wouldn't be able to get back to his world ever again. Some of Honey's friends sympathized with him, and they created a barrier around the forest to lock Kinjo and his colleagues here. For 26 years, they were imprisoned here. Why didn't he ask Kinjo-san about his reason? Of course he did. But Kinjo or any of the wolves couldn't tell. You mean wouldn't? No. Couldn't. It seems that Tamatsu-san put a restricting seal on them. It's still a mystery. You know, there was a time that I thought Honey had already forgiven Kinjo. I was really happy that time. Kinjo had brought here a baby girl. For 12 years, Kinjo regularly checked on the baby. We talked about things. We drank sake together. She paused. I realized it too late that Honey was just doing that because Midori was here, and he didn't want her to experience negative emotions. Kinjo seemed to understand and played along, but what he only cared about was the baby girl. Honey became attached to the girl, and he treated her as his own, a sister for Midori. But the girl ran away to go with Kinjo. Honey believed that Kinjo convinced her to leave. For the second time, he felt that Kinjo had taken something precious away from him, and their enmity worsened. Where is that girl now? She was with the wolves that attacked us. What are you planning to do with her once this is over? Saki smiled. Of course. Of course, what? Don't play cute. Saki finally stood up. I guess that's it for now. How long has it been since you summoned them back? 3 hours, 1/2. Let's wait for another 2 hours to be sure. Saki got the empty cup from him. Are you sure you don't want a kiss? Naruto laughed nervously. No, thanks. Don't regret it. He is a cunning boy, isn't he? Sunio said. He was lounging at the back of the dojo. Saki had to pass there to reach the kitchen. If that conversation went on, you might have accidentally told him something you must not. Yes, Saki said. I missed it the first time, but he was asking random questions to divert my attention. He was able to make you tell your age. Saki shook her head, longingly. Yeah. I didn't notice it. He made me comfortable talking with him. He must have been living with incredible people. You bet. Saki went on. Sunio puffed some smoke into the air. 2 hours later, Saki brought Naruto his original clothes, his orange trousers and jacket. Here, I washed them for you and sewed up the holes, she said. Thanks a lot, Saki-san. Welcome. Naruto went behind a tree and changed. He folded the kimono Saki had changed him into and gave it back. Thanks for these too. Saki-san, may I have my forehead protector? Oh no. Midori is still asleep. I don't know where she put it. If that's the case, then it can't be helped. Catch, kid, Sunio said, tossing him the protector. Naruto scurried to catch it. He stared at it for a time. So, this is my village's emblem. Where did you find it, honey? Saki asked. Midori put it inside the crescent moon's case. Imagine that? Midori is already treasuring your headband, kid. He might have already fallen in love with you. A rock hit his head. All three of them looked in the direction of its origin and saw Midori, her crescent moon in tow. I'll never fall in love with a monkey. And Dad, why did you put me to sleep? Yikes. Explain for me, honey. But Saki was already leading Naruto away. Don't leave me here. Dad. Sunio cleared his throat and pretended to be all business.